not by a lot.
Sunday's here, NFL takeover is real. From the first snap to the final whistle we feel. Packers in the mix, Chiefs on the rise. Patriots grinding, Eagles soaring high. Fantasy points stack, best place, no joke. Monday Night Football, that's where we provoke. Action-packed, every hit, every call. The boys with the heat, we cover it all. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams, we narrate the action, we the football kings. Coast to coast, every yard, every throw, we bring the fire, it's time to let it glow. Are you ready for some football? Coast to coast, from the college game to the NFL, we do the most. Monday nights, the boys bringing all the heat, we the squad on the mic, ain't no one can compete. Touchdowns, big plays, lights up in the sky, huddle up, it's game time, we ready to fly. From the cop to the clock hits zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind. From the cop to the clock hits zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams, we narrate the action, we the football kings. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams, we narrate action, we the football kings. Coast to coast, every yard, every throw, we bring the fire, it's time to let it glow. Are you ready for some football? Coast to coast, from the college game to the NFL, we do the most. Monday nights, the boys bringing all the heat, we the squad on the mic, ain't no one can compete. Touchdowns, big plays, lights up in the sky, huddle up, it's game time, we ready to fly. From kickoff to the clock hit zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind.
Yes, that's correct. The College Football Playoff CFP commissioner recently confirmed that conference championship games will not affect seeding. This decision was made to address concerns from the SEC, which feared that playing in a conference championship could potentially harm a team's seeding in the playoff.
It's early. I don't care. The SEC is suck everybody's cock.
No, that's why I was...
Right. That's just the way I feel about it right now. At that point, literally, I agree with you. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what happens in these games. What we see today is law.
In my opinion, when they extended it to the 12-team playoffs, in the way I envisioned it, that before all the details came out, I thought it was just going to be 1 through 12. Whoever's 1 through 12 is what makes it in, regardless if you win your conference championship or not.
That's how it is.
That's irrelevant. So,
yes,
the bye week, I think that's because, again, if you had, let's say, Colorado would have won the Big 12, they would have got one of the 4 bye weeks because they won the Big 12 as a 25 seed. And I don't think you shouldn't be jolted up to the top 4 just because you got a conference championship. Does that make sense?
No. And the reason why is, are you telling me that the SEC conference is better than the Big 12 conference?
This year?
No, just in totality.
Yeah, I think they are.
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Is the
team?
What?
Arizona State?
There's no way. There's no way that the Power 5 conferences aren't equal. There's no way.
Not even by a long shot.
So why? Yeah. So why does
the top 2 conferences, in my opinion, is the SEC and Big 10, and that was even without Texas. Without Texas jumping over, even when Texas was the Big 12 was still a weak conference.
Paul, I'm going to put this in perspective, and I think I'll let Mike touch on this too as well, because I already know what Charles is going to go on a rant after I say this. So this year in the Big 12, Dr. Pepper Big 12 Challenge, we've got Iowa State and Arizona State. Miss me with anything, but these 2 teams in any other conference, even the ACC, are probably having 4 losses. I'm just saying.
Walked.
That's why this year I agree with what you're saying. But
is Maryland better than Arizona or Iowa State?
No, Maryland. No, what I mean.
What about Rutgers?
Probably even Michigan. Michigan's 7-5.
I'm like, if Texas was still in the Big 12, we would have ran through that conference.
Oh yeah.
But put Maryland in the Big 12.
they probably end up in the top 3.
Right, 8 or 9 wins. This year,
They
you're
would
probably
probably
end up
more
in
of a
the top 3.
Nebraska type team.
They'd be in
BYU is in the top 3. We're talking about
Yeah.
the Big 12 that has Arizona, which is
well, the
17.
conferences are all equal.
Except for if you're Notre Dame.
Rabble.
I honestly thought, for the God honest truth, it was going to be 1 through 12. I could see them trying to do a little mixture of
1
how
through
in
11.
March Madness, see them according to whatever. But the fact that if you win your conference championship, you automatically get a first round bye is fucking just ridiculous.
Except for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's, again, they've shot themselves in the foot because they want them TV deals and they don't want to join.
They were Notre Dame was the only one this morning with a 99.9% chance to make the
They
playoffs.
had the worst. Did they not have the worst loss?
They lost to Northern
No.
Illinois.
Nope.
At home.
They did not have the worst loss.
Who had the worst loss?
Ohio
Outside of that?
State.
To Michigan?
Really?
Ohio State's lost to Michigan.
You're saying Ohio State's loss to Michigan is worse than Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois? I don't know. That's a fucking MAC school.
I don't disagree with you. Listen.
I can see your argument, Charles.
I'm just saying.
The fact that you guys were
Ohio State was supposed to win by 50.
And y'all are not.
but
Y'all
Michigan,
didn't
not the first
match
time this has
last year's
happened.
competition.
It's the worst loss in rivalry history.
Is it? I thought Michigan
Yes.
beat them. I thought an unranked Michigan team beat. Oh, yeah, they did.
No. I wasn't saying no to that. You were. I'm telling you,
You're Ohio State. You're the second team in the country.
the favored number worst all time.
Yes, they've never been 20-point favorites and lost.
No team in this rivalry has been a 20-plus point
I
favorite and
don't
lost.
think Ohio State's ever been a 20-point favorite and lost. Period.
No.
It might have been.
Ryan Day has.
Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to pause because you're not wrong. Northern Iowa was paid $1.2 million to go play
In Notre Dame.
And went in there and beat their ass.
I just want to see where where Illinois finished on the season.
Right. And while you're looking that up, the reason I consider this worse is because Ryan Day has been thinking about this game since Jim Harbaugh left Michigan.
Did you see that little clip that they did, or that resurfaced? Urban Myers was playing on a video game, and he was like, they were like almost simulating his career, and he was like, Ryan Day comes in, sits on the couch next to him, and he says, "Hey, it's your turn," and then it shows a bus just driving off a cliff.
The dude's
which
career
explains
is
the
over.
last 4 years playing against Michigan.
Hey, he's 47-1.
He only beat y'all once in 5 years.
That was with Urban Meyer's roster. Yeah.
But it's just, you can't.
And
this thing, you got
Harbaugh
all
had, who's before Harbaugh? It was so long ago.
Tressel?
Is this Rodriguez?
No, it was Tressel.
No, we're talking Michigan.
Oh, yeah, I think it was Was it Rodriguez?
Harbaugh took over for fucking somebody. Maybe Brady Hoke or something like that.
It was Brady Hoke.
Yeah, it was just a terrible fucking roster. And it was a terrible roster. He still had a winning season that year, though. So
I think Ryan Day. I think Ohio State needs to consider moving on from Day at this point, because it's like, I get
they will at the end of the season. You can't beat
giving them
Michigan.
winning seasons, but you can't. It's just
Why did the
how
Bears
good Green
fire
Bay?
Lovie Smith?
Because you can't fucking beat Green Bay.
It's
As much as making the playoffs is great.
Charles,
It's wonderful, but if you can't beat the one team that you need
winning
to beat,
in a heated rivalry scenario, as a coach, you have 3 fucking things to do. And you can fill in details all you want, but tell me if you agree. Win, playoff success, beat your rival. If you do those 3 things as a head coach
you can
in one of those
wherever
scenarios,
you want in that city.
you're going to be there for 50 years. Right?
Look at Mike Tomlin. 18 seasons, 1 Super Bowl, but he keeps beating his division.
Right. Yeah, he beats them just as much as he loses, if not more than he loses.
But he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Right. Look at Ohio State for 2 days. And now moving forward, however many days now has passed, blah, blah, blah. The amount of pain this loss caused that state has been glorious.
they're not going to be able to get over it, even though they're in the playoff. They're not going to be able.
Even
to
if they win.
Listen, Michigan had 5 losses coming into this game,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that y'all went from winning a championship to going 6-5, going into this game,
We could have been the worst team in history.
You're going into the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Heavy underdogs, like extremely underdogs, and you come out there and you beat them, and you get these people crying like a bunch of bitches because you're putting a flag in the middle of their field.
If Ohio State doesn't win a playoff game and doesn't even sniff the Final Four or whatever you want to call it, the NCAA, not only is Ryan Day fired, there are going to be players just leaving that school, like
Mass
going to
exodus.
transfer Alabama.
Well,
these schools
I'll even add on to this too.
because of the coaching.
I want to add on to your point there, Patrick. I think it's championship or bust at this point.
It is, and it was all season. Literally, even with if they win the national championship, there's still going to be an asterisk on their freaking thing saying couldn't beat Michigan.
Well, and that's why Ryan Day's fired. I do believe even winning a national championship, it doesn't matter.
And this
because
is what
he's
sucks
on.
even more though for Ryan Day.
They went
You
all
started the
in with
season
this
with
team,
that picture.
100%. They have seniors up and down this team. You've got Ibuka. You've got that Jeremiah Smith, who's a freshman.
They have a
phenom.
$21 million roster.
He might be
yes.
That
one of the
part.
best
It's
receivers in
that
college
part.
football. Why is he going to stay there?
You as Coach Ryan Day talked all that shit, talking about you're going to have all this money to get all these players and do all these things.
Well, 4 years
And
ago, they were
you
going to lay
couldn't
100
do
on Michigan. And they
nothing.
still haven't laid 100 in 4 games.
But it's like you talked all this shit. And what do they say when two fighters? Be careful how much shit you talk to a fighter before the fight starts, because you might end up putting your foot in your mouth.
Yeah.
I've always lived by the rule in that sense that the person talking shit is only there covering their shortfalls.
Yep.
And again,
The loudest person in the room has the most to worry about.
4 years in a row, you couldn't figure it out. And
Yeah,
if there was going to be any year, it should have been this year that you should have been able to do it.
Oh,
This was supposed to be the year that you should have did it.
Michigan could have
tell
lost
you-
by 50 and nobody would have blinked an eye.
I'm getting completely different playoff rankings here. I've got Ohio State at 6.
Who are you getting that from?
Yeah, because I'm seeing this.
ESPN.
Bleacher Report's got him at 8.
Yeah, Bleacher Report got them at 8.
Yeah, it's Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, SMU, Indiana, Boise State, Alabama. And they still have Miami at 12.
Yeah, Miami's at 12, but 12 doesn't get in.
But yeah, the way I'm looking at it right now, they got 1 through 4 is Oregon, Texas, SMU, Boise State.
What is 12? 12's like a
Gonna
type deal?
say
12 is the
floating
most
one?
unluckiest spot in college football. Yeah.
It's a floating one where they literally, if something
If the
happens
conference
this week-
championship isn't
Yeah.
ranked,
There's an upset,
if
So
that
you
one,
got Penn
if
State
the
at
fifth
5.
conference champion isn't ranked in the top 10,
Yeah, what a
12
slap in
is
the-
booted out.
What a slap in the face for Boise State, though. They've done nothing but take care of business. Their only loss is by 4 points to Oregon.
I'm like, Bleacher has them at 4, but I don't know. I guess either way, Boise
I don't
State's
know.
going to get either the 4th seed or the 5th
Boise
seed.
State's getting in, but
What?
it's going to be a terrible matchup for them because
No,
they
the way
realistically should have a bye, but they won't.
I don't know, man. If all other graphs except ESPN are showing, I'm going to assume ESPN is a typo.
I don't know. I think it might just be rankings. It's not
Because
the.
Boise-
Well, is it
Yeah, 'cause-
AP ranking or is it the
It says
playoffs?
college football playoff rankings, and it does have Ohio State at 10-2. So I'm like, it's current.
But as it's projected, Texas, SMU, Oregon, and Boise State have first round byes.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how
Again,
I'm
just
seeing it.
all other graphs except ESPN are showing this.
Okay, Charles, this is exactly why ESPN is. I fucking hate this.
But
shit.
doesn't
It's-
ESPN's the one
No.
that releases it, doesn't it?
Paul, wait for me to finish this, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna smack your fucking computer. At the
I don't
bottom,
want to.
there's an asterisk that says projected.
Oh, projected first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they believe Ohio State's gonna move up, so they must think there's gonna be upsets.
Again, I don't know who's writing that. They're especially retarded because we
So I'm
started the
looking
show
at ESPN.
with the college football playoff committee speaking that win or lose, your conference championship isn't going to affect your seeding.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Romeo wanted to say hi, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
'Cause I'm looking at the week 15 right now off of ESPN.
Okay.
Yes.
At the brackets, they got 1 through 4, just like we said. Oregon, Texas, SMU, Boise State, 1 through 4. They got Penn State at 5. They still have Ohio at 8, Tennessee
Okay.
at 9. So it looks the same as Bleacher.
Okay, hold on. Check this out. Joe, hold on. Listen to me.
Go ahead.
Listen to me. This is why it cannot matter when this conference championship game is played. Win or lose, it cannot effing matter. Right now, Penn State is playing Arizona State.
Right.
You don't mean to tell me that Penn State would give two spits less about a Big Ten championship game against Oregon if it's going to affect their playoff positioning
get the fifth
against
seed,
Arizona State.
If they're gonna get the 5th seed versus the 1 through 4, I promise you.
So instead of Arizona, they're going to be playing Ohio State or Alabama if they lose the Big Ten championship game.
I agree with you. Here's the problem.
No,
100%.
that's not how this works.
Why would these guys even want to go out there and play? They're going to risk injury.
Exactly.
So
they can't.
You're going to have big lopsided fucking games, and everybody's going to be pissed about this.
So no matter what happens, win or lose in the conference championship game, it cannot affect the playoff seeding because otherwise, moving forward, no one will play in them. They'll be gone. They'll be done. They'll be pointless.
Everything
So no matter.
So in theory, it should just be 1 through 12, regardless of conference championship. Can we agree to that?
But it cannot be 1 through 12 if all conferences are equal.
So then get rid of the
You can't tell me all conferences are
They're
equal.
not. They won't.
And you're not going to get rid of conferences.
I get that.
Always
So what's the
eventually
compromise?
they will. Eventually,
What's the
they will.
compromise?
The other conference needs to be better. There is no compromise.
So then, again,
Recruit
if you
better.
want to get
Just
into
be
the
better.
1 through 12, you got to just play ball, and you got to convince
No.
the committee. How is it?
Because
how do
then
you-
why would I ever go to another school? You have no idea. This is not professional sports. Stop it.
So do you leave it as it is?
Yes. This is the best we're going to get. It's better than what we had, and anything we do to it makes it worse.
So leaving the conference championships to get the first round bye and having the first, and then
Doesn't matter.
They're going to be like Charles said. They're just going to end up phasing these championship games out, and the winner is going to be determined based off of some formula. If the
It'll be a point system because the
We're gonna go back to
SEC's
BCS.
the SEC's already talking about getting rid of conferences.
And then what they'll do
We don't
is they'll
have
probably
divisions
start
anymore.
bowl
There's no
week a week
divisions.
earlier to make
SEC
up
doesn't
for
have
it.
divisions anymore.
Oh yeah.
They got rid of it. So it's just the top 2 teams go just like the Big 12.
I believe the Big Ten did away with theirs too as well, because it's uneven.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
especially
I know
yeah.
that-
No,
the
they had
Big
to.
12
If
the Big
Oregon and
12
Penn
last-
State
I
are
think-
playing.
I think the Big 12 got rid of the North and South 2-3 years ago, and I think this is the first year that the SEC doesn't have East and West.
Okay,
It's fine, but this, like
But
Charles said,
regardless-
this is just leading to them eliminating them. They're just basically telling you right now without telling you, we're going to get rid of these fucking games.
Because I'm telling you right now, Penn State is not beating Oregon. As much as people want to think that this is going to be a good game, offensively,
if Oregon says that this game doesn't fucking matter, they'll lay down. But they do want the undefeated season. I'm sure they do. But I mean, if it risks injury,
in lieu of Oregon fucking taking all of their players out, yes, I agree. I mean, Oregon is going to beat Penn State.
Oregon almost lost to fucking Wisconsin. I wouldn't say they almost lost to Michigan.
They almost lost to Ohio State.
I mean, it's not like this team is. I don't even think Oregon is a top 5 team. To be honest with you, after watching what Michigan did to Ohio State,
Ohio State missed a bunch of field goals, bro. Let's not act like Michigan beat
Charles, yeah, and Michigan also threw a touchdown pass. There's your 6
Michigan
points
has
right there.
hold on, listen. Michigan has thrown interceptions all year long. Michigan has been a terrible football team all year long.
Yeah,
I
but
110% expected.
That pass. Everybody looks at it. They're like, "Why the fuck would you even throw it there on first down?"
He's
instead of running
doing
it?
that all season. This wasn't
but
something
you said
that.
But you can't do coulda, woulda, shoulda.
No, I very much can
when
when
the
the
times for a touchdown.
when the
instead of throwing it.
kicker didn't miss kicks all year. He just missed because he can't play under pressure, right? Okay, regardless, whatever. Penn State could beat Oregon when the fucking game's over and Oregon wins by 30. It's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be like
30,
Michigan.
They're like 3.5-point favorites.
I
I'm not
understand
they're gonna
that.
lose by 30.
I understand that, but wasn't Iowa 14.5-point underdogs and lost by 50?
Iowa has never been able to score more than 20 points in a game.
Iowa's defense has always been better than Penn State's. They lost by 50.
I don't know I wouldn't say that. They had some pretty good defensive teams over the years with some Jacana Carter, those years with those guys with the running game, and then they've had what's old boy from the Cowboys there. They've had some pretty good defenses over the
I'm
years.
not saying Penn State didn't have good defenses. saying I was better.
Because Iowa plays in the frickin' West, and the West was terrible.
I don't care.
It's funny when Iowa played Michigan or Ohio State played a good
They
team.
lose
got
by
their ass
50.
beat. Yeah.
They lose by 50. That
Not
was
a good
literally,
defense. Yeah.
that's how I started this conversation. Was saying a great defense lost by 50.
I don't think.
I'm saying Oregon's going to win by 30.
I don't think they're that good to win by 30. They haven't beat anybody by 30 this year.
That's fine.
I wouldn't
That's
think that
fine.
one of the best teams in college football is going to be the first game.
You don't think they're a top 5 team? That's fine.
I think they're a top 5 team, but I don't think they're the best team. I think if you put Texas and Oregon right now head to head, I believe Texas is a better football team.
Texas lost to Georgia. They got to try and beat Georgia again.
I think
Georgia
you guys
lost to fucking a bunch of crazy ass teams this year.
You guys are wow. All their games were close. Georgia lost to Alabama and Ole Miss. They didn't lose to a bunch of crappy teams.
Ole Miss lost to Florida.
Yeah.
And did they just lose to fucking who'd they just lose to in the final game of the year?
No, they beat Florida State.
Oh, they ended up
carried
being.
away.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
It's Florida State.
I swear I just saw Ole Miss lose again.
They lost to us.
The SEC's always been like that, though. Where because remember when Texas A&M was trash and they end up walking into Alabama and they whoop their ass. It's the SEC is a whole different animal.
It's so
home field-
unpredictable
home
over
field
here.
advantages in the SEC. I'm a firm believer in them.
We live that every year in the Big Ten. We understand
Wow.
this.
A night game in Iowa, a whiteout in Penn State, a night game in Michigan in late November, Ohio State in the bowl, like primetime game. Yeah. Everybody's got one.
Regardless, the point of all of this was winning or losing your conference championship isn't going to affect your playoff seeding. Because the moment it does, nobody will ever play in them again. Period.
Because it's pointless.
I do not want to see them open the books on the playoff thing then, because that would be cheating.
What do you mean?
Because nobody knows what team's going to play what team right now. And if you're saying that it doesn't matter,
I'm not saying it.
I'm saying
you're right.
if the NCAA
If they're saying it, sorry.
that,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying
about
if the NCAA is
Yeah.
saying that it
Yes,
doesn't
sir.
matter, that's gonna fuck with people's bets.
Oh, so much.
Because what if this meaningless game that
Well-
this guy played, this quarterback gets hurt?
that. How
I'm
you
not
put
saying they have
how-
control over it. I'm saying it's gonna
Uh,
fuck with
listen.
gambling for sure.
I don't fuck care.
I know we don't gamble. I
And
know,
I
but
think not even us. If you want to bet, go bet on the SEC championship game. Because I promise you, the teams playing in that SEC championship game care. And if you want to bet, go bet in the Big Ten championship game. Because I promise you, the teams playing in that Big Ten championship fuck care.
Well, right,
If you want to get blown out and do some weird ass shit, go visit Iowa State. If you want to be stupid with your money, you go be stupid with your money. It doesn't matter.
Which one isn't getting in then of these conference championship games?
The Power 5 conferences are getting in.
So you're
Who do you
telling-
consider the Power Five?
So the Arizona, he's talking about the Pac-12,
Definition.
the Big Ten, the ACC.
The Pac is basically.
It doesn't. That's
I'm
why
saying
the 12 team is bumped out.
SEC, ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, Big 12.
Pac-12 is turning into Mountain West.
There's your 5 right there.
I just yes. Okay, these are all facts. But who cares? The definition of the law is the Power 5 conference champions get
I
in.
hear you.
The highest 4 seeds get a fucking bye, and the top 11/12 teams get in. If one of the Power 5 conference champions is not ranked inside the top 10, then the 12th team is the first out. They are the
Ooh,
unlucky team in college football.
Okay,
Period.
here's an interesting one. This is where it does get interesting. A game that does matter, the Arizona State-Iowa State game, because they're both on the fringe of being top 10 teams. One of those teams will get a bye, correct? If they're one of the top
It
5, because they're in a
depends.
Power 5 conference.
It depends. I don't think
Again.
it depends. I think if they're outside of the top 12, they get the last seed versus getting the bye.
So what you're saying right now, like
Boise
that's
State
just-
would replace the Big 12 because they're a higher ranking than
Okay,
any
so we're saying
whoever comes out of the Big 12.
we wipe
'Cause
the
Boise
slate
State is
clean
10.
right now. And you cannot advance your ranking.
There's nothing more.
Moving
Yeah,
forward.
this point is over.
This-
What we're seeing right now,
So
fine.
this in all intents and purpose is literally a fucking exhibition game. For
It's just
a,
bragging
it's
rights
just,
at
it's,
this
it's
point.
conference. It's a conference championship.
It's just to put another
its
trophy
own-
in your case.
It's its own building. People
It's
are
an
trying to
exhibi-
put. It's not a floor in
exhibition
another
game for a
building.
trophy.
Wow, it's a championship game. You played all year to
Well,
get
I mean,
there.
it's
You
an
call it what
exhibition
you
game of the
want.
trophy because if we're gonna say it, be honest, moving forward, if they're gonna do away with them, then this is the last one. Then, hoorah, good for you.
No, I don't think they're going to do away with them. And I've read nothing about that. If they fuck with the playoff seeding after this, they'll be done. Yes.
Yeah.
If they want them gone, then that's what they'll do. Yes. But now, granted, everyone's human, and look what the Bears did. They let old boy do a press conference and tell everyone he wasn't going to be fired, and 12 seconds later fired him. Right? So the commissioner could very well have said,
we're humans.
yeah, the commissioner could have said this because, hey, we don't want the SEC to be a bunch of crybabies like they always are. And then there are random things that could happen. You could lose by 50, and that might fuck with you. I don't know.
After this, Texas is the only SEC team still standing. Then what are they going to cry on after all the other teams lose?
If Bama
It's just
and
fucking
Georgia
hilarious.
lose,
Alabama isn't even playing, so it would be impossible for them to go up and down.
No,
in
I'm
theory.
talking about the SEC teams that are in the playoffs. What if the only team is the outlier is Texas, and the rest of them that were bitching lose?
End up losing.
Yeah,
if Bama and Georgia lose,
And
you
Tennessee.
kind of have to Tennessee, you have to shut the fuck up and just let football be football.
That's the point of this.
That's the thing, right?
I,
like
I hope Arizona State battles. I hope
Georgia versus
Indiana
Indiana
battles.
Georgia
Right.
versus Indiana, to an SEC guy, you're always going to be like, oh, Georgia's got that in the bag.
Even us, Indiana, what the fuck? Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Well, Charles has been saying Indiana. What the fuck since they played like week 2? What the fuck is this team? Google me. I win.
What are we doing here?
But then you have
This is
but
the
then you
new
have
college
a team-
football.
You have
They got a
team
cool
like-
facility too.
You have a team like Alabama who isn't the Alabama of the last 2 decades.
No, Alabama could literally lose to an underdog for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They have
for
3
me,
times
it's-
this year.
This
Has happened.
this year was really the start
never get
of this year was really the start of, for me, the SEC kind of slowly losing its stranglehold on national titles.
It's not
The
a.
rest of the country is going to be
NIL
like,
has
all
a
right,
lot to do with that.
NIL did
I was
a
gonna say
very
it's,
big
it's,
thing in that.
it's not about who has the best weight room anymore. It's
No,
about
you got
who's
them
going to
deep
pay me the
pockets
most
now.
money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, arguably, of all those teams, Indiana probably has the least amount of stars in the entire college football. I think they don't. I don't even know if they have one 5-star on their fucking team. But
some of these teams like
great coach.
Phillies were a pass rush needy team for the draft. So I'm paying attention to teams like Tennessee, who's got James Pierce. Oh, Ohio State has this kid, JT Tuimoloau, who's phenomenal. He's 6'5" and 270 pounds.
There's a big run stuffer for Georgia too, I believe.
Yep,
big
and then
guy, like a
Penn
Kenneth Grant from Michigan, Mason Graham. Those
Penn
guys
State
too.
has what's his name, Abdul Carter. Those are the teams that I'm playing. Like I haven't paid attention to LSU the last 2 years because they've looked like dog shit. Like-
Arizona Wildcats have. I think they believe they have the best wide receiver in all college football, and they're terrible.
Is that the guy with the
Fucking terrible.
weird first name?
Yeah.
He's got a crazy first name, but I believe he had 1,200, 1,400 yards receiving. He's nuts. He's supposed to go top 20 or top 15.
Yeah. Every time I go into the mock draft simulator, he's like between 4 and 7.
Yeah.
13.
And
Yeah, so
Genty's right there with him after.
Yeah, it sucks that he
21.
didn't.
So on that
Travis Hunter's going to be
53-man roster-
who's going to win the Heisman, more than likely.
That's
Travis
how you
Hunter.
win the Heisman. Just throwing this out there. That's how you win the Heisman. Go play in the Big 12 or the Pac-12.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Ginty ended up 140 yards shy of Barry Sanders. He had 2288. Barry had 2500.
That's
So he's-
still fucking.
He's still
insane.
basically a game behind what Barry had.
But don't
Yeah,
they
what do you-
count the
yeah,
conference championships as part of the regular season, though?
Yeah, but
That's
when
just
Charles and I talked about this, I don't
it's
believe they're
stupid.
going to, because Barry did it in a regular season.
Right.
They're not
That's the
gonna look
one
at it
thing I never understood about college. I feel like after the regular season is over, there's no reason why if you're in these bowl games and conference championship games, those stats shouldn't count towards your overall regular
Mike.
season record.
Donovan Ezekaraku from BC, 16 and a half sacks.
Spell his last name.
Ezeirua.
Ask
KU.
Google to say that.
Izaraku. Roku.
From where? Boston College.
Boston College, yeah. He dominated college football this year.
Ooh, that means he's not going to be.
Yeah, it's Nick Nash, Harold Fannin, and the guy from Arizona is
Holy shit!
Tairoa McMillan. He had 13-19. He didn't show out. Travis Hunter, shout out number 5, 1,152 yards. I think he's going to be a better receiver and offensive player than he's going to be a DB.
Crazy year this year. 16.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles.
If he ends
a
up being a
pass
DB or a
defense.
safety, he's going to be fucking. He's going to be hurt more than he's going to be active.
Is he a extremely talented Kevin King?
Who, Travis Hunter?
No, it's a joke. Charles is going to be like, because he's always hurt. He was always hurt.
Travis Hunter, this kid is talented and he's an Iron Man, but I completely agree with what Chucky just said. If he DB, you're small to be really.
Well, he's gonna get smacked. If he thought he was getting hit hard in college
Bro,
football,
he's gonna have to tackle receivers like Jamar Chase and AJ Brown and.
If he looks
Jay
small at Colorado, imagine what he looks like in Georgia.
DK Metcalf.
Oh God.
Or
AJ
Texas
Brown.
or Michigan or Ohio State or any of these schools with 300-pound
receivers.
linemen.
well,
and just
look what happened when the safety
like
from
Marvin
Colorado
Harrison
State hit him in the
motherfuckers.
chest. Broke his fucking rib.
yeah.
That wasn't even a big dude that hit him.
Is he fast enough to be a straight receiver in the NFL, or is he going to be like a slot?
Yeah,
He's probably going to be like an
fast
Xavier
enough, but
Worthy
He's not
type
big
of
enough
receiver.
to be a 1-2. Yeah, I was going to say
So he's
going
gonna
to
be
a package
slot.
guy.
He's like
Like
an
a slot
Xavier
guy.
Worthy
He's a
type
slot
receiver, Tyreek Hill, the speedster that
He's-
can get those cuts. But
So he's
like,
He's a
a
little
less-
bit taller than Wes Welker, but half the fucking size.
And so he's a less talented Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
Got it.
he's- I got the
6'1",
perfect
$185. So he's Charles.
dude's
What's the
an-
name of
the
that player
dude's
that
an
we
Iron
talk about
Man.
with the tiny little legs?
I got the
Oh,
perfect
he's been hurt.
comparison.
He was
when
hurt a bunch this season
Ooh.
too. What was?
Yeah, Travis Hunter. Yeah,
I got the
No,
perfect
no.
comparison
The
of
guy
Travis
with-
Hunter as far as
Pretty
body
guy.
type for playing in the pros. Kevin Durant. The motherfucker is so damn small. Yes, he's lethal.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
and Travis Hunter
swing
could be
talent.
that guy.
I love
But
that.
he's just
Wow.
he's
Kevin
undersized.
Durant's
He's
balls
not like a
are
legitimate
fucking ridiculous.
size as a receiver or a DB. So
Right.
whichever one you pick, you have to understand you're gonna have to put some muscle on your body. Like
Has
you're gonna
he
have to put
ever-
He's
some meat on your
gonna,
bones.
he
he's gonna
ever-
lose speed. He's gonna lose
Has
a
he
lot of
ever
speed.
punt returned?
Yeah,
kick
I don't-
return?
I think his
yeah.
freshman year in Jackson State, and then maybe in his first year in Colorado.
That could be an interesting way to start him out instead of straight
You
up.
want to get his head ripped off? Hell,
Yeah.
And look, the guy Philly has for a punt returner, Britton Covey, was like a track star in college. He wasn't even wide receiver in college. And he one of the best punt returners in the league.
And Devin
Averages, I
Hester
think,
was
like-
a cornerback coming out of college, and he got turned into a punt returner wide receiver towards the end of his career.
I don't know if Travis Hunter's got the body to. Now they said this about Devontae Smith too.
He's got,
Which is
he's got
bothering-
three,
guess his weight.
he's got 3 carries in his career for minus 7.5.
Travis
yards.
Hunter, his weight,
Yeah, guess.
I think he's
guess
like
Travis Hunter's-
135, 140.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not very big.
Okay.
One.
He needs to say 140.
170.
Yeah, he's 161.
Where'd you get that stat?
I'd ask the internet.
It says on ESPN Junior 6'1", 185. Where?
I mean, I just quick asked
Hey,
Travis
Siri.
his
This,
weight.
As
How
this,
much
this
does
guy
Travis Hunter
from
weigh?
this guy from Boston College that you just put me on, his 6'2", 247. He's smaller. We don't need that. That's the problem that gets with me is he's a smaller edge rusher.
Siri said that Travis Hunter weighs 185 pounds.
Nice. Nice.
Still little.
185 pounds. I can't look. Devontae Smith when he
He's got to
came
put
into
20
the league
pounds
weighed
on if he wants to do
190
something in
pounds.
the NFL. Let's be honest.
But is Travis Hunter a good enough route runner? A good enough?
It's not
Speedster.
185. It's a fucking
Charles,
lie.
and he's probably not 6'1" either.
You know what he
Listen,
weighs?
that's-
You know what? Hold on. He probably weighs 185 pounds with all them fucking pads on.
I knew you were gonna say that
Fuck
shit.
you. He don't weigh no 100.
Listen.
He weighs 74 kilograms. That's how much he
Siri
weighs.
said he weighs 185 pounds.
Every team has done this.
Soaking
Basketball
wet.
Does it? Football does it. They either weigh you or measure you with cleats on or with pads
Hey,
on. It happens.
Allen Iverson was 6'2". All right.
Allen Iverson was 5'9". Shit.
And Muggsy was over 5'4".
Muggsy was
Yeah.
6 foot. That's why he could dunk
Hey,
so well. He had
Muggsy
that
was
hops.
5'11". All right. Put some respect on
Yeah,
that man.
yeah.
Muggsy 5'11". Yeah, was he like 5'2"? 4'11".
Green screen behind me, but I'm not in fucking La La Land.
That's
Oh, nuts.
funny as shit.
How convenient. 180. That's perfect.
You know they add
What a
inches and
perfect
weight to
number.
everything.
Bull spit.
there's-
Goes a buck
You're-
60.
You're
at
not going to find a
best.
player that weighs 183. They're going to round that fucker up.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Make
Only
it
time
way
they use
heavier.
their exact weight
Listen,
is when it's boxing
hey.
and it's a weigh-in.
If you're rounding up by the 50s, you're close.
Yeah.
Charles is like
He's over
130.
150, so it's
122 and a
closer.
half.
It's closer to 200 than 90.
He's a buck 38. Give him 50 pounds.
Jesus
Look,
Christ.
we've seen slim receivers come into the league and be successful, but I don't know that the difference is. And you guys,
What team's
have the
going to
SEC
draft
thing.
him?
but
Where's
this
he
is
going
the
to go?
thing, right? Like this is the difference
Texas,
between a receiver
Houston.
like Devontae Smith and a
He's not
receiver
going
like
to,
Travis Hunter,
Giants.
right? Devontae Smith is a Heisman Trophy winner. Travis Hunter probably will be too. But Devontae Smith played against the best defensive backs in the country. And I don't know that Travis Hunter is playing against the best defensive backs in the country. I don't know.
You don't
that,
know? Are you sure? Are you
I'm
sure
pretty
about that? Are you,
positive that he's not.
Colorado isn't playing the best
Yeah,
teams in the country?
I'm pretty,
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive
Yeah.
he's not playing the best defensive back.
They got to 8 wins this year. I didn't think they would get to
Hey,
4.
they got
you
to-
know,
Is it
He
8? Yeah,
can
no,
be
it's
successful.
not.
The precedent
oh,
is
they
there.
probably got more. I'm just saying they got to 8.
But that dude's gonna have when he goes into an NFL locker room and Prime ain't there to hold his hand and fucking stroke his ego. It's gonna be a whole different lesson for that man. And I don't know if he just.
Did you see
I
that
don't
pick
know if
six
he's got
last
Well,
night?
Charles, they
NFL
got the 9. My bad.
Hey, listen, that 9 wins is getting to 8.
Yeah,
It's better
it's
than
more
last
than the
year.
4 that we all thought they were gonna have.
Technically, they had him at 11th in the Big 12.
One thing that Shador did is he probably solidified that he's the number 1 quarterback coming into the draft. I think he was in the top 3 in passing yards, touchdowns. He's going to go to the Giants. Anybody think he's not going number 1 overall to the New York
No,
Giants?
he's going to the Giants.
Yeah.
That's
Even if
terrifying.
it's not number 1.
Well, even if they trade back to 3 and
No, I'm just saying if the Giants don't get the number 1 draft pick.
oh,
I don't the other teams there aren't
no, nobody's taking a quarterback those first 2 picks anyway. But
no.
because a lot of the thing is Shador is going to go number 1, but I think Charles is big on Cam Ward after watching him piss away a couple games and then get blown and then have McCord shine him out. I'm not really sold on Cam Ward as the
Syracuse.
NFL quarterback
That's what they lost
anymore.
to.
Yeah, he led the NCAA in passing yards. Kyle McCord did.
After what
leaving Ohio
Carson Beck
State.
said, what he said, I don't trust that fucker.
Oh
in the
my
league.
God. Carson Beck, that dude, you talk about hurting your draft stock with a quote.
I don't
just
really
thought
watch
when you-
football.
Bro, when you
It's
posted
annoying.
that, I was like,
What?
I
What do
said,
you-
in my
All
head,
right.
as soon as you posted that, my head, the first thought was,
Idiot.
is he declaring for the draft this year?
He's an idiot.
Because scouts are
Fucking
going to
moron.
see that and be like, what the fuck do you mean you don't watch
I don't like watching
football?
football, but I watch film.
Like,
What?
I watch. Mother.
Like you said, we're taking it out of context. We're putting our own words on it and spinning it. Does that just mean that he's focused on his team and he doesn't watch, like, he's not going to watch Notre Dame play Pitt or something like that?
He says it's not fun to watch football.
That doesn't, I mean, a lot of guys don't
No,
want
but
to mix
but
work with
it's-
play. Pleasure,
It's
so.
I think it's more than it's not fun or I don't watch football or whatever. It's the context and then it's the way, it's the semantics, right?
Maybe
like
he's another
when you're
Stetson
getting-
Bennett who
when
likes
you're
to
getting
tip the bottle
scouted-
back instead of sports. I don't know.
yeah, no.
Like his
Does he turn into
predecessor
the
did.
next Johnny Manziel? No, I think one of the biggest things that I learned in school was like it's not just about what you say, it's how you say things, right? Look, we're all fans. We love watching sports, particularly football, right? But we, just like most people in the media, are human. So when a college athlete who is declaring for the draft says this, that, and the
Milwaukee's up
third,
82-59 on the Pistons. Jesus.
when an athlete like this who is declaring for the draft
Yeah.
says something, you hear it immediately and you go, there's something that's just not there, because you don't hear quarterbacks for big football schools say shit like that publicly. You just don't. There's never been an Alabama quarterback or an Oklahoma quarterback or a Michigan quarterback come out and say, when I don't have pads on, I fucking hate football. And essentially, that's what he said. Now, that's me taking, like you said, that's me taking it, putting my feelings onto it. But that's what the media does. That's how people get clickbait. That's what Twitter does. That's what Instagram does. So you just have to be, for me, you have to be mindful of it, because he could have said, look, when I'm away from the game, I like to be away from the game. I don't really pay attention to anything else. But when I'm on the field, I'm the hardest worker you're going to see. And instantly it's the exact same message. It just makes you seem more thoughtful with your answer.
The other part of that too is maybe he's just not good with words. So
That's very.
He's not good with the ball either.
No.
I have Nick Sirianni as a head coach. I know
You got
I
Charles.
deal with people who aren't fucking good with words all the time.
No, it sounds like he's learning early on what to say and what not to say.
'Cause what is he? What is he? A sophomore? He's a junior, right?
Junior.
He's not declared for the draft.
No. All right. Speaking of the draft, hypothetically, if we all got drafted and we played baseball, Paul, are you following me here?
I'm listening.
Following me here? All right. So we've got Mr. PR.
Huh? Hey, that's a sexy
Baseball
looking
card.
man.
You're hitting dingers.
Yeah, and I'm probably throwing them back too.
Yeah.
You got a big old melon on. Hey, we got Mike.
Yeah, he's a pitcher.
I don't
He's
know
definitely
if
a
he's holding
pitcher.
softball in his hand.
Why do you
and,
look like Coach McDonald?
He does look like Mike McDonald.
It's like, what the fuck?
This is the one where I don't know if it's the picture of Charles that AI just was having a tough time with, or if
It's
Charles is the guy in the dugout that just likes to have fun.
You could tell there was a bump or two in the dugout.
Listen, he's the guy that just doesn't want to retire yet. He's got it.
It's either dirt
know-
or spaghetti on his pants, by the way, too. I
He looks
can't
like,
tell which
you know
one
who
it
he
is.
looks like? He looks like Rick Vaughn, fucking Charlie Sheen from, what is that?
Wild
Wild
Thing.
Thing, yes.
And then this, Paul, somehow, some way, I came out looking 20 years younger.
He
Hair
looks
grew
like
back.
Josh Allen with makeup on.
Yeah,
I got
Josh.
two things. One, to go
Makeup
back to
on.
Charles. One, he looks like he has transition glasses on.
Which is amazing.
And
those are
then
burgundy.
two, he probably has basketball shorts underneath those pants.
That's why his hips are really wide.
Because he's about to go to a pickup game after this game's done.
It does look like I got some junk in that trunk.
Put mine back on so my wife can see it real quick.
And then Charles looks like he has that's Mike McDonald. And it almost looks like your fingers, you had a sixth finger that fell off.
No, he's ripped a softball in half.
No, it looks like he's missing a finger though.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You see the gap between
that
your thumb and your
giant
index?
Paul, leave it alone. I don't know what the hell AI is doing. Just leave
And
it
why
be.
is there a bat coming out of his ass?
He's not? He's scary in the back.
What is happening? Can you put mine back up real quick? I just got an observation. Put mine back up because I'm like, I can't clown everybody.
Hey,
Why is
look
my
at
head
Paul's.
bigger than my body?
I don't know. Why are you playing for the Beta Bears?
Why are you so upset?
I probably just got struck out for the 5th time.
Playing in
Why does it
Chicago.
look like you're in handcuffs? Look in the bottom right. It's like
That dude got a bracelet on.
bracelet or handcuffs down there in his right hand.
Hey, you got to go back into the pen. Your time ran out
Oh my
for
God,
outside time.
I can't remember his name.
Mhm.
The other two.
Oh, it's funny. All right, we'll do football next week. I got it.
I
That
will.
was funny.
All right, talking about football.
Yeah.
So I'm just
football.
gonna clear the air real quick.
Huh?
All right.
Nice.
That hit from Cooper Dejean was just a good football tackle.
That's what you coach your people to do. That's
It's
like
normal.
that's
a normal
that is
football play. That is a normal.
that's a
good
tackle.
football play.
That's how you tackle people, not
Right.
pushing them and shit. You wrap that motherfucker.
Cooper Dejean in that
did he?
exact scenario would have tackled absolutely everyone in the world. It was
That was a
the
beautiful
perfect.
form.
It was just the perfect form, beautiful. Okay, so now it was on Derrick Henry. I can't believe it happened to Derrick Henry. The dude wasn't even looking. He was trying to catch a ball for maybe the 43rd time in his entire fucking life, and was at a dead stop. And Cooper came up and
Right place, right time.
running full head of speed. This dude is an NFL football player. He's there for a reason. He's pretty damn. I don't mean to point this out, but he did play at Iowa.
With 4.4 speed.
Micah's hurt right now.
Oh no, I'm good with that. Man,
He made the only player in that defense
He
got drafted.
he did what every coach tells their defensive players to do. Wrap this motherfucker up and take him
You're
down.
damn right. You're
Bro,
damn right.
look.
But anyway, listen, I think there was a whole hell of a lot of spice into that. If fucking Derrick Henry was running at half speed, Cooper would have been knocked down, bro. Let's be honest.
So
That's-
here's the thing, right?
RC could have took him.
No, Ryan Clark, no. Get the fuck out
Gilbert
of here.
Brown probably.
I love Ryan Clark. I think he's one of the best analysts to do it right now. He's fucking tripping if he thinks he's there's no way.
It's
But
Derrick Henry at a half head of steam. I'm being polite when I say half head of steam.
Derrick Henry
Do
has
we not
ran
remember
over
what happened to
NFL
old boy in
Hall of
Buffalo?
Fame linebackers in his career.
Saquon hurdled the guy backwards after spinning with momentum moving forward. What was Derrick Henry supposed to do? For him, it was a terrible throw.
Hey,
it was
that's Lamar.
behind him, and he had to go back and get the ball, and then by the time he got focused forward, Cooper had his hands on his thighs and was
Yeah,
dumping
he had no
him on his
momentum.
side.
Yeah.
Into context, Derrick Henry, there's two very specific moments. The guy when he destroyed Earl Thomas
Oh
and
my
just
God.
threw him, and then old boy from Buffalo just made him his baby.
Derrick
Right.
Henry has a lot of sports cards where he's doing this to people's
And
faces.
his hand is about
Oh,
the
yeah.
size of all of our heads, and we disappear.
Now,
If Derrick Henry has Shaq-sized hands, it's retarded.
Oh yeah, he's huge.
okay,
It's
so
insane.
I didn't expect it to go that way. So pause. Cooper Dejean made one hell of a tackle, though. I
Oh.
love you guys. I'm just throwing this out there. I really
No,
do
for-
love all of
Like,
your beautiful minds.
That's
That was-
that's what you want.
I am
out of
so
any
mad
player.
that the guy we drafted instead. Just saying.
Hey,
No,
you needed that offensive lineman.
We didn't
Cooper
need
to be
Dejean-
sitting on the bench?
We didn't need a DB.
This is the
Just
thing,
sit
right?
on
Charles,
When we
I know you're
drafted-
rolling your eyes, and I'm rolling them inside of my head, but I'm just saying we didn't need to.
Oh, I was no, I didn't hear you say that. I'm sorry. I was rolling my eyes at PR. I
Oh.
didn't hear you. Yeah. Look at man. Wouldn't it have been great to have Cooper backing
have-
up
to have a guy who
Jair
can come in
Alexander,
right
who
away.
happens
To be hurt.
to not be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ever.
Problems,
this
okay?
is the thing, right? With Cooper Dejean, you have to understand that, or people have to understand that. You guys watch football and y'all see and you know the college atmosphere, but people who aren't watching every college game like you guys watch may not necessarily be watching Hawkeyes football. But this kid is a punt return specialist. He can play safety. He can play
fast for a
inside
white guy.
nickel.
Everybody knows him from the kickoff or the punt return for a touchdown that was called back because of the phantom fair catch call that everybody's technically it was a fair catch call, but you don't make that call in that scenario at the end of the game if you're an
Yeah, no.
umpire.
It's kind of
The kid is, he ran a 4.44 40.
Let's be honest, he's white. He ran
Yes,
4.40.
the reason people give him Reed Blankenship and him call themselves the exciting whites on our defense.
Yeah. There's two of them, right?
hey,
Reed Blankenship, yeah.
Hey,
Ah,
white people are athletic.
yeah.
There's just
Sometimes.
more. There's
Sometimes
just
they're
more.
athletic.
No, there's just more of us. So there's way more fat people.
Answer me this.
Yes, there's way more fat
before let me ask you this. Before Cooper Dejean got drafted as a white cornerback, who
Yeah.
was the last white cornerback that was relevant?
He's
Jason
playing
Seymour?
on the fucking Denver Broncos right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. How
Go
long ago was the last white quarterback that was an actual?
Killer.
I'm,
Jason Seymour.
listen,
He
That's
played for
bro.
the Giants.
Right?
PR, I don't see color, so I can't sit here and pick out one of these random ass people with
'Cause
this
you-
skin on me,
Most
bro.
of the time, it's either
Come
you're a
on, man.
linebacker or you're a safety. That's it.
Come on, man. I don't diversify like that, bro. You know me. Come on,
NFL
bro.
Philly got really lucky drafting Cooper where we got him right before we jumped over Green Bay to get him traded with Washington.
I still remember that face you made, Charles, when y'all drafted that guy. You're like, what the fuck?
It just made fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
So
Dude,
we got
Dude, that's
we
a
got
pretty
really
fucked up
lucky.
stat, Charles. Riley Moss is the first white cornerback to start in the NFL in 21 years. Moss plays for the Broncos. In October 2024, he became the first white cornerback to record an interception in an NFL game since Jason Sehorn in 2002.
I don't see color. I couldn't have told you that. 2002. See?
And it says Cooper Dejean with fantastic ball instincts and ball skills. Dejean can play in any defensive structure. Some say he could be a valuable safety in the league someday.
And
Somebody-
Just not for Green Bay.
Wait, ask him.
Reading
Ask him
this
what he
someday
says.
as a
Ask,
hypothetical? What the fuck is that? He's already a fucking safety in the league.
you
that's
should
taking
ask
a
about Jordan Morgan.
This wasn't even that. This just popped up when I went to Google.
I got a shirt that describes your GM during that draft pick. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brains are
Brian's
awesome. Everybody
Brian's
has one.
are awesome. I wish everyone
Brian's
had
are
one.
awesome too.
Who's Brian?
Brains, you jackass.
Oh, Brian.
Brains are awesome.
Brian.
I just wish everybody had one. Oh, and that's for you, Chicago.
We got extremely lucky with the fact that one, we got Coop, but we got Quinyon Mitchell too. We got
You
the
got
two
really
best
excited when
performing-
they took the Gene though, because you were. I know the Quinyon Mitchell one you were excited for, but when they rolled back up and they took Cooper
Well,
Dejean,
hindsight's 2020.
yes, but you and
Well,
I.
I also wanted.
I
I
know,
also
but
wanted. I also
Morgan
wanted
would have
one of
panned
Green
out, it
Bay's
would have been
picks.
great.
Edgerrin Cooper.
I mean, he might
is who-
still pan out.
Edgerrin Cooper.
That
is who I wanted.
dude, bro, listen to me. Now you're bringing this up. Listen to me. Like the Lions have a nickname for their tandem. What is it?
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and
Fister?
Knuckles.
Oh,
Sonics and
Knuckles, sorry.
Fists.
You're a dickhead. I swear you're a dickhead.
Oh boy,
Sorry.
sounds like a different video that we're gonna be watching.
Yeah, I think I was on a different part of the internet.
You're
But
watching something creepy.
Adrian Cooper and Quay Walker, bro, are seriously like.
Oh, did you
Wish
see
it would
the,
come to me right now, but these two might end up being like one of the best linebacker tandems in the NFL. I can't be angry at the Green Bay Packers because I
see the
get
Tucker
it, right?
Kraft quote?
But what?
What did he say?
Oh, he's talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He said talking about his boys got hurt and he's going to be gunning for him and he wants to take him out or whatever. I'll find the quote and I'll read it to you guys.
Oh shit. No,
I don't know how
Philly,
Kraft
Philly
can
got
go
lucky
after
too.
Amon-Ra. They play on.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
dope.
no, he's talking about his boys on defense.
Oh yeah.
Philly got super lucky too in the linebacker department in the fact that with Vic Fangio, Zach Bond has been playing an all-pro season, and Nakobe Dean's playing an all-pro season. Zach Bond has
Give me 1 second.
177 solo tackles.
Technical on
Like-
both of them.
All right, I got the quote up.
Yeah.
So he must be talking about Packer players getting hurt. He's taken some of my brothers out of the game. So if I get a chance to get my hands on him playing football, I will torture his body so that he learns to be humble.
He said that about Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Tucker
shit.
Kraft.
Dude, Tucker Kraft is
Kraft's
a
like,
farm
oh,
boy, bro.
man,
Like,
he's up.
Is he a
I-
linebacker?
dude.
He's a rusher for you guys.
no,
No,
he's a
Tucker
fucking
Kraft is
tight
tight
end.
end.
That's what I said.
Oh,
He's a
Tucker Kraft
freaking
is tight
beast.
end.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming I
weird.
believe Tucker Kraft is on punt return and kickoff return because he's
Oh, so he's a
such a good
gunner.
tackler. Yeah, so that he might have a chance if him.
I don't
recovers.
think they're putting. I don't think they're
on
putting Amon-Ra on punt returns.
No,
and kick
but-
returns.
We
no way.
discussed Lions injuries on yesterday's podcast, and it's like
Charles
they're
is
an
down
entire.
to- We're down to 2
13.
starting defensive players from the original 11.
13 defensive players on their injured reserve.
And at some
That's
point, it's gonna. At
insane.
some point,
They
it's
lost
gonna-
2 more last week. They lost 2 more last week. Yeah, against the Bears. They just brought in another guy because of somebody they lost.
They
Jamal
lost
Williams.
Rodriguez.
You're talking about the guy from the old.
They lost a
Seahawks,
linebacker,
yeah.
Rodriguez. I think he tore his PCL or ACL or something
Yeah.
like that.
This
They
shit
lost
is-
Anzalone. They lost Rodriguez. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. Their defense is torn.
How good would
the
that defense
fuck
be
up.
if they actually had half those pieces? Probably way better.
How good would that?
Dude, if their
The
defense
Lions
is
would be
completely
my
healthy,
favorite if
Yeah.
that defense was healthy.
And there's
They
Just
need
having
to- they
Aiden
need to-
Hutchinson alone back.
They need to stop with the IG post. They need to stop with the beating of their girlfriends. They need to stop with all this random off-season bullshit. They need to get into the fucking weight room. They need to start
Stop
drinking more
gambling,
milk,
yeah.
and they need to start playing fucking football. You want to
Right.
build a culture, but this is not the whatever.
this is the
I guess
time of
winning-
year too. This
winning
is the
tops
time of year
everything,
where everything's gonna get
I want to know
harder.
what that means.
Everything's gonna get harder.
They don't have the front office to be able to continue the success financially. They never have and never will. Same thing with the Bears. Like the Bears, sorry, Paul, but the McCaskies are not known for being able to just sustain a large roster financially. Like
You know
eventually,
what
you're gonna
sucks
have a few
about
good years, and then
the
that's it.
McCaskies, even if that wonderful old lady goes to see the devil, she does not deserve to go see Jesus.
Wow.
But rest in pieces.
She could just stay in the dirt and just be a ghost for all I care, because her
There's a
kids
lot
are
of-
gonna
Just like
take.
a horrible racist piece of shit or something. Good God.
I'm like, I think she is, to be honest.
Hypothetically, Paul believes that she might possibly be a racist.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. However,
Allegedly.
that ownership is, unless they allow Warren to do what he does as a president, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I told you, Charles, before, these next 5 games are going to define what
Who did-
direction
who-
they're going to go with.
Here's my question for you, I want you to be honest with me. What the has Ryan Poles done?
I got it just in time. I knew you were gonna say that too.
What has he
Hey,
done?
Paul.
Yeah.
Give me a heart attack every week for the last 3 years?
Yeah,
So-
not
so you
a
guys-
motherfucking thing.
Listen,
So
I
you're gonna
said-
so,
I
you're, so this
already
guy's gonna
said if
bring
they-
in a head coach and then
I-
get fired next year?
listen, I already said that if they let Fields go, please do not come back to Chicago. These fuckers didn't listen.
It just doesn't make sense because like here's
Bro,
the
I
kicker.
didn't think
You
he
fired
was going to have a job at the beginning of this year, and they kept him.
Well, I thought they would
Listen,
fire him too.
This
but-
this is the crazy thing. Ryan Poles is the guy that not only did he bring in Eberflus, you drafted Justin Fields, and you drafted Caleb Williams. You've been building this team for 3 years, and you still haven't been able to build an offensive line. You
And
built everything else,
This is
but the one thing you need. This is the
but the
crazy
thing is-
part. You're an offensive line, so you're a former fat guy. What do you not see down there that you can't build an offensive line?
financially, it's all about money. How much money they have to allocate to that offensive line. Let's be honest. Name one player off that offensive line that you have any trust or any faith in. It's good. They could make a Pro Bowl in the next 5 years.
you mean ever?
Darnell Wright.
Yeah, any of those offensive
Darnell
linemen.
Wright. That's the only one.
But is he
And
a
let's not-
fringe?
I'm like, he's
Let's
only
not
in his
also
third year.
forget. Let's not also forget. Thank you, Ryan Poles, for gifting Jalen Carter to the Philadelphia Eagles. We appreciate that.
It's this is my thing. As much as he would have been good for us, don't get me wrong. I would have not been upset if we drafted him. it's every year. It's either we pass on what we need to get what they think is the right decision. It's forget about drafting for hype or signing for hype. Get what you need versus what you think these analysts want you to get. Because clearly it's not working.
Paul, can I tell you why? And you should just know why. Because the flashy name that's the offensive lineman doesn't put butts in the seats when you don't have a product to put on
And
the
losing
field that
doesn't
puts
either.
people in the seats anyway.
And losing doesn't either.
That's not true.
Yeah, but
But
if they
who's going to buy an offensive
Raiders.
lineman's jersey? Charles might.
Well, no, what Patrick is saying isn't wrong. But what Paul is also saying isn't wrong, but at the end of that was wrong. The Chicago Bears still fill that stadium. Winning or losing doesn't matter to them right now.
I don't feel that.
But they do want jersey sales, and you don't sell jerseys unless the player is hyped up.
If you're not winning football games, you're relying on
Right.
other things.
You're,
like
you're
sales.
relying on your
Yeah.
draft. Look at how many jerseys he had back
But
there
my
to
po-
start
my-
the season, and
But my point with this is like, and those were all very valid. Yeah, absolutely. That was my point. What has Ryan Poles done? Even if
Not enough to keep a job.
even if Caleb Williams becomes the guy in Chicago, no matter who was in that GM seat,
yeah.
in that universal situation, you were drafting Caleb Williams. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah, you didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice, right? So
You
like,
always have a choice.
No,
yeah, if you want to keep your job, no, you don't. You do.
Bro,
Okay.
if he would have went
the
after
coach isn't the
Jaden
one that,
Daniels,
was
the
told.
goddamn world would have exploded. If he
Yeah.
skipped over Caleb and went for Jaden, you guys, Chicago
Yeah.
would have burned
Oh, he would
down
have been
that
fired
night.
on the spot. He would have been
Listen,
fired on
whether
the spot.
we would drafted Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, I almost guarantee that we would still be in the same situation.
It'd be the
that
same
we're in
outcome. Yes.
Yes.
sir.
now. Nothing would have
Absolutely.
changed.
Right.
And that's my
Absolutely
point.
nothing.
You got to fix more than one
So-
leaky hole in a
So,
freaking
so everyone wants to talk about the Bears not being on the same hamster wheel, that they're going to do it different this time. But what do you mean you're going to do it different this
We
time?
do the same shit with different clothes.
You
on.
fired a coach 12 games into a season. Why'd you keep him? None of us can answer that question, but it's bygones. Why are you firing a guy that you decided to keep? That makes absolutely no sense. Ryan Poles is the guy who not only hired this guy but decided to keep the guy, and now you're going to let him hire another guy? So now if it doesn't work next year, you're going to fire Ryan Poles and then bring in a GM who didn't draft Caleb and didn't hire that head coach.
You're talking about a revolving door of stupidity.
This
Yes.
is
You know
what
what?
you've
You
done
know who I feel
since
you know who I feel
91.
the worst for? Outside of Caleb Williams, you know who I feel the worst for in this?
Not
whole
anybody
situation?
who's making millions of dollars.
No.
But who?
Don't say Justin
Thomas
Fields.
Brown.
The
Because he's
offensive
going to get the
coordinator-
short end of the stick
Yeah.
out of this whole situation.
Yeah,
No.
you guys, offensive
No.
coordinator's going to get.
No, I'm
fucked.
saying
Nope.
like I'm saying there's
I agree
no
with you.
possible
If
way
he
that
loves, if his mindset was like, I wanted to be a Chicago Bear, only a Chicago Bear, but you don't think this dude's going to get a job somewhere else?
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Yeah.
when it comes to
college,
in
but he'll
most
get a job
cases,
somewhere.
in most scenarios, when
Oh,
you
when
get
a
that
new
interim
coach comes-
tag,
Yeah,
when you get that
yeah.
interim tag, it's hardly ever that tag ever comes off and you get the head coach position. Almost hardly ever, especially
Right.
this late into the season. So
Yes.
and when I say bad, like he gets to be in this position for 5 games, and the likelihood of him retaining that position after the season over is slim to none.
I
know
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying, but
yes, I know he's going to get another job, especially
maybe
if he
he's.
able-
Yeah, I mean, is he even ready to be a head coach? Listen,
I don't
other
know.
people could have.
But these next 5 games are gonna
everyone, dude, everyone wants to blame Eberflus for not calling a timeout. Anyone could have called a timeout there.
technically
it wasn't
only the
100%
head coach
it.
can call the timeout.
No,
Or
no.
the quarterback.
Caleb
I know
can
Caleb
call the
could.
timeout.
Listen, I'm not putting all the blame. I'm putting
There's a
blame on
headset.
Caleb.
There's a headset that people could have been screaming, "Coach, call a timeout! Coach, call a timeout!"
And he
And
probably
something-
could have been deaf and oblivious because deer's in the headlight because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Regardless,
Okay, so
You can-
let me
you
ask
can
I
run
hear
towards-
you. Listen, I am not debating it because if this in my head, this is how I see it. Again, I'm not the smartest kid. I'm not the sharpest crayon in the
No.
box. But in my mind, we got
don't even know
34
if I
seconds
fit
on
in
this
the box.
clock. 10 seconds run, and you still haven't got to play to Caleb. I'm calling a timeout right there.
You
Any
have to.
player in the NFL that is on the field can call a timeout.
hold
Like,
on, listen, hold on. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not you, Patrick. Sorry, he got the play. He changed it.
That's what I'm saying though. But I'm saying if I'm the head coach and I'm seeing it's 10, we have 34 seconds and it's 10 seconds, and I still you're still haven't figured shit out. I'm calling timeout to see, hey, motherfucker, what are you doing?
But yeah, no, that's not being
I'm saying
argued
if
here.
I'm saying if I'm the head coach, that's what I'm doing.
Anybody who wants to keep their job,
Let's be honest.
That's the
If it didn't
common
happen
sense,
this
logical
week,
shit
it would
to do.
happen the next week or the week after. He was getting fired at the end of the season anyway. So it really doesn't even
So
matter.
who made the worst coaching choices this weekend? Eberflus or Ryan Day?
Again, it would be Eberflus because Ryan Dave, more or less,
Well,
his team just shit the bed.
If you're going to talk about Ryan Day standing there when
That was terrible. Okay,
that was the worst play of the week. He looked terrible on that one. He looked like he had no control over his team.
Standing there with the corn up his ass. What's happening?
You got Michigan's head coach out there grabbing dudes by the back of the collar and yanking them back. And he's standing there with his hands on his hips, just watching everything happen.
His assistant coaches are in there
he's a
trying to down
dumbass.
people.
And I'm sorry, I hate Ohio State, but if you're a fan of that team, that program, and you watch your head coach out there, all
Watching
your
your
other
kids
coaches are
just
looking
go
at your head
donkey?
coach and saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Are you a leader?"
Not at all. Yeah,
Because did you see what's
that gives
Coach-
the athletic director the entire motivation to say, you stood by while your players did whatever the fuck they wanted. You couldn't take charge of the situation. Michigan's coaches had to go in and pull fucking guys apart. People had to get fucking pepper sprayed.
Right.
You're not even in the middle of anything.
And it brings being born on third base to a whole nother fucking level for
Bro,
me.
you didn't even try to step into the situation.
No.
You look like so many levels of pussy on tape.
Because if you look what Ryan Day did versus what Sarkisian did when UT was about to do some dumb shit on A&M's logo, he's like, no, cut that shit out. Get back
Yeah,
to
we
the
don't
locker
play
room.
that shit. Yeah.
Whoa, hold on though. That's what happens in rivalry games.
I'm not.
These
This
big
is the thing.
games.
But I'm just saying, if you're
Lost,
the
get to
head
the
coach
fucking
and you don't
locker
want your
room.
team to do shit, but the difference, I guess, the difference that I can see with Ohio State and Michigan, these motherfuckers literally were going at it, getting pepper sprayed and going ready to just throw blows. And you, as the head coach of this university,
Ain't
is
doing
standing
shit.
there in the middle of the field watching your kids look like a bunch of donkeys.
Dude,
You know
those
what you look like?
players from
Just
Michigan.
say this happens.
They're gonna fucking stew the shit out of
When-
those cops. There wasn't even punches thrown. Apparently, they were like hugging and like doing like some kind of wrestling shit.
Yeah, no, in the Michigan-Ohio State game for my entire life, when you've won at the other team's house, you fucked with
They
the
plant
logo.
the flag.
That's
I get that.
I mean,
I
it's
understand.
just.
And
It
that's the
is what
thing.
it is.
I'm not.
You had just had a bunch of
doing shit.
baby back bitches
fuck it.
who were to Michigan, and they wanted to feel like they did something. And
Right,
good
Texas
job, you got
planted
pepper
their
sprayed.
flag beating Michigan in Ann Arbor. They planted it at
Texas
Field.
literally went and planted the flag in the middle. Where was our team? In the locker
In the
room. We got
locker
our
room.
ass beat. That's what
Like,
happened.
That's what-
you
But
lost.
I've seen a bunch of
And which-
college players.
Hold on.
come out
Oh,
and
sorry,
say-
Mike. I don't mean to cut you off. Hold on a second, though. Fuck Steve Sarkisian.
Oh Lord.
Oh shit.
You mean to tell me he stopped Texas from planting the flag at whatever fucking stadium you were at, but let him do it at Michigan?
I think because everything
Fuck
that
Steve
built up to that,
Sarkisian. I don't give a
game
fuck.
from everybody
Like
else,
that
I think it
flag.
just made it. I think he didn't want to be included in that chaos.
Fuck that pencil neck motherfucker. I don't care. I
It's
hate
fine.
Texas even more now. Fuck
It's
that
okay.
loser.
We're 11-1.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Give a
funny.
fuck. That needle dick running your fucking squad.
But I've seen players come out and say,
Make a lot of friends
anonymously and a couple of quoted saying, "Look, if you come in and spank us like that, we can't stop you. You
Listen,
came in and
for
you
me,
ran
You
the
had
table.
60 minutes to stop me. You didn't do it.
Yeah,
For
you
me,
can't fight at the end, and you can't fight at the end with somebody planting the flag and expect me to be like, "Yeah, defend your house." No, fuck you. You had
a
an
whole
hour.
3.5 hours to defend your house, bitch.
Yeah,
We weren't going to let him do that on our field.
This-
We planted it twice. What are you talking about?
I
This
don't
is the
have
thing
no
that I don't
sympathy
understand
for
when it comes to
Ohio
sports.
Technically, they planted it again.
This is the
planted
thing
it
that I don't
twice.
understand when it comes to any level of sports, college or pros. This is what I don't understand. I understand that there's this unwritten rule of not running the score, not being unsport. Fuck that. You don't want me to score and run up the board.
Stop me.
Stop me.
Look
my
what
job to
Oregon
put in
did
its
to
resource.
Oregon did that to
I don't-
Michigan. They called a timeout to score so that they could watch the Michigan fans leaving the stadium. Pretty classless move
Now
because
that's
they did it on
that's
purpose.
shit.
But if you think about it, you're like, they could have stopped it from happening by stopping them. They did it. That's on Michigan for
In
not
basketball,
stopping
I
you
don't
know?
care if we're up by 30 and there's 5 seconds. If you leave me the lane open, I'm smacking that ball in the hole.
Unless
If
it's
I
an
hit a
NFL
home
game
run
and the
off
guy
of
can
you,
go down to end the game. Yeah, I agree.
if I hit a home run off of you, I'm pimping the shit out of that walk. And I'm flipping my bat.
Bro,
And I want somebody to stop me.
the
Because
best
I'm going to
example,
kneecap you.
the best example I can think of things like this is you remember it was like 2000, 99, 2000 when T.O. was still playing for the Niners and they played in Dallas.
And he went to the
went
Stars.
and posed on the
Twice.
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 But what my specific point is somebody asked Emmitt Smith after the game, hey, how do you feel about this? And he was like, look, I got angry because I'm a Dallas Cowboy. But if we didn't want him to do that, our defense should have fucking shut him down. If Emmitt Smith has that feeling, who literally is only associated with the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah, but we are
everybody
talking
else can
about
shut
the
the fuck
Ohio
up.
State roster.
I'm like, well, that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing.
$20
million
Again,
the
if you
$20
don't want
million
Michigan, if
crybabies.
you don't want Michigan to plant a flag in the middle of
In
your
Stockholm.
fucking field,
They've never had to
Don't
work for
beat
anything
them.
in their life. The
Don't
moment they
let
have to
them
work,
beat
they
you.
lose.
I said this. Baker Mayfield said it. He set precedent with this, Oklahoma. And he said flat out, if you don't fucking like it, then fucking stop it.
It's
As
that
simple as
simple.
that.
it's not
Simple as
it's
that.
not rocket science.
Because if Ohio State would have won 15-14, Michigan's not planting the flag in Ohio State if they lost. It's just not happening.
No.
But if you come in, underdog as Michigan was, and you spank that ass,
I'm planting the shit out that flag.
bro, I took your house over. It is what it is.
116-92.
Stop me.
Yeah. I don't get when
This-
people
this
complain about
soft-
that stuff.
This soft ass shit about I get the players defending their home turf. I understand it. I get it. But at the same time, like we've all said, you had
Oh, yeah,
the
the fight was
entire 4
justified.
quarters.
I have no issue with the fight. It's
You
the
had
fact that
4
they were
quarters
commenting
to-
on the fight saying, I can't believe that this happened. What a disgrace to football. Meanwhile, there were 7 other fights on the field the same week.
No, you know
at
what
the
a
end of the
disgrace
game,
to
so
football
It
is?
makes no
A
fucking
disgrace to football is the NFL allowing dudes who beat up on women to continue to play. That's a disgrace to football.
That has been
People-
happening religiously in the NFL for years.
People
unfortunately.
planting flags, that's just
You worried about the wrong shit.
you way worried about the wrong shit.
Well,
Like
the fact that they stayed on the coverage too with almost looked like a drone view of the fight
Mhm.
was weird to me. And then they allowed Gus Johnson and them to just continue to talk about it for another 2-3 minutes. Why were they not cutting away to a commercial or
on
anything?
Back to the
you
studio.
can't- So
Makes
you
no
can't,
sense.
well, so I can answer that. You can't just cut away to a commercial. Everything's timed out. So
Well, they could have but they could have cut away to a camera where it was just
Yeah,
them
no,
two
they-
in the
they
booth
could've-
talking.
yeah,
you
they
know.
could have went to a sideline reporter
Oh, they
or
could have went
back
to
to the
anything, yeah.
studio or something. But you can't cut away to a commercial because you have to time those out.
But they
just
intentionally
a bad
stayed
call.
in that
Yeah.
view, yeah. Like
It was
whoever
a
was in
bad
charge
call.
of the camera.
It was a bad call on the producer's
Yeah.
call sheet. He should have
Right.
immediately just been like, "Let's get away from."
Right, because they made Gus
craziness.
Johnson have to apologize basically because he didn't know what to say. He just kept on rambling on about nonsense and basically calling Michigan a bunch of fighting bitches and assholes.
Which
Yeah,
is wild.
It was happening on both sides of the fucking field the whole game, pushing and shoving. But
he called the Texas game.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
He was there when he watched Texas plant the flag.
He wants to call himself a Michigan like homer, like a fan, but then he says he's impartial. But yet at this game, he made it sound like he fucking hated him. It was
Well,
just
I
it was a
hate-
weird role reversal because he talked about they didn't cheat this time. Like, who the fuck says that?
I hate when-
Did you hear him say that? He did say that. He had to recant that.
I fucking despise when people
I'm
come
not a
out
Gus
like
Johnson fan,
sportscasters
so-
or people on the radio who are like, "Oh, I don't have a fandom. I don't root for bullshit." You are so full of fucking you. This makes you seem disingenuous. The reason I like guys like Scott Van Pelt and Rich Eisen and Stuart Scott.
Like, even Desmond Howard, he's on there every single time repping Michigan every chance he gets.
Well, he did. He was the only one that picked Michigan.
So
If I'm
like,
saying,
over
like,
the-
if
Him and
you're
Woodson.
paying-
but I hear you. I agree with you 100%, Mike. Because you're not going to sit here and tell me these analysts aren't here having favoritism towards
Oh,
certain
100%.
teams.
I mean,
Just
look
be-
at
just be a person. Just
what's
be
his
a
face?
person.
Well,
Like, you're a fan.
Dale,
It's okay to be a fan.
Look
Like,
at Urban fucking Meyer, for God's sakes. He's just
a fan of vagina.
He's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking pervert. I've said it
Urban
100
Meyer's-
times. You know, he does not deserve to be on TV, let alone any of the shit. Like the fact
I
that
can't
he-
believe
the fact
people
he
are
never
still
got
fucking with that
charges.
guy.
Do you watch that Florida documentary on Netflix or the ESPN 30 for 30? How the man wasn't in fucking jail for the shit that he covered up at Florida is ridiculous.
Bro, he is
The
not a
players
good
he
human being.
recruited-
Is the best way I can put it.
Supposedly, allegedly, one of those murders took place when he was at Florida.
Hernandez murders or
Obviously, it was
whatever?
Hernandez, but there was a murder that took place when Hernandez was down at Florida. Had it been Hernandez and he allowed him to play, knowing that he was in trouble that night at a nightclub or got busted, and then allowed him to let him play, what the fuck?
Yeah, Urban Meyer's not a good human being.
The coach needs to take
Ah.
care of his house, and I think he knew what was going on in his house, and he ignored it.
Urban Meyer's not a good coach and not a good human
Oh,
being.
no, we saw that. We
you
saw
know.
that when he was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a terrible fucking coach.
He's not a
Yeah.
coach anymore, though.
No, a terrible
He's not
coach.
really a
terrible-
coach.
Well, you can
He's
still
just a
call him
terrible-
Coach Meyer, Charles, because he was a coach.
No, I'm
He's-
not. I'm not
I know,
I'm just
he's a-
saying
He's a terrible
not
human
coaching
being.
it. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that.
He's such a
either.
piece of shit.
I
That guy's such a
agree in,
piece of shit.
in its entirety. I'm like, he's not coaching anymore.
No. That's why I said I wish
After this
Yeah,
scandal,
no,
I
everything
don't
you're
know-
saying is so true, and it's so true. It's led to
fucked.
him
Yeah,
not
I know you
coaching
can't-
anymore.
I know everybody get caught in the you need to let it go type of scenario, and yes, you do need to let it go at some point, but things rehash it and make you piss you off even more. Keep on reliving the damn dreams over again.
Urban Meyer's got
Listen,
what's coming to him.
I get angry all the time. I'm not telling you to not do nothing.
No, it's unfortunate.
Sky.
We missed out on it last week. We got picks? We got some things we need to highlight for the NFL teams. We need to go through our MVP again.
Here's the kicker. I have
A notepad?
notebook. Yeah, it's
Whoa, Charles, you're gone. You disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's back.
Now I see it.
I don't understand. It's not green. It's yellow. But all right. And I can't tell you guys our scores because they're on. a
I
piece of
believe
paper.
all of us picked the exact, except for Paul. He picked
The Raiders.
You picked an upset. You almost had it.
I almost had it.
Almost had it.
Then they had to do that bonehead play.
The Raiders are, let's be honest, I believe they're one more offensive weapon away from being a legit football team.
Do you
Like,
think McDonald is better
quarterback.
than is
They need a
better
quarterback.
than Minshew at this point?
Who?
What is his name? McDonald?
Aiden
or what-
O'Connell?
Aiden O'Connell. Do you think
O'Connell.
he's?
No.
No,
You don't
but-
think he's
but
better than
Bowers-
Minshew?
Bowers is the
No.
real deal. Brock Bowers is the real
Brock,
deal.
listen, if it wasn't for Bo Nix, he could possibly win offensive rookie of the year. But Bo Nix is
Bo Nix isn't going to win offensive rookie of the year. That's going to Jaden
Jaden
Daniels
Daniels.
walk away with that.
Okay,
Bo-
so
Bo Nix only
Paul-
200 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions the other night. Here's another thing. How did Denver completely miss on Jerry Jeudy that bad? Dude, it was unbelievable last night.
I can tell you one reason why. Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Whoa.
Well, no, I don't think it was Sean Payton's decision to get rid of
Jerry
him.
wanted out.
Yeah,
I know he wanted out, but I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying.
It's
I
because
think
of
it was like
Sean
the same
Payton.
relationship that he had with Russell Wilson.
I
It's
can- I
not
can
somebody
see
that he
that.
wanted
Yeah.
to stay.
I can
You know
see
what I'm saying?
that.
Like he wasn't a fan of
Listen,
him like that.
Denver did not lose that at all.
I'm like,
I don't
Denver's
think so
doing
either,
all right
'cause I
for
don't
themselves
think-
right now.
Mims had a
I don't-
93-yard touchdown. Judy only had a 70-yard touchdown.
But
Oh.
they also
Jerry
had-
Jeudy almost had 300 receiving yards though,
Yeah,
and he
I'm
was
like,
wide
he's-
open versus that Denver defense. What happened to the Denver defense in that game?
they still managed to get 13 points. So
and 2
everyone
pick
else,
sixes.
Yeah, everyone else would have had 3 interceptions.
They gave up 600 yards of offense. That's insane.
The fact
At one point, they had 27 points, dude, and then they had 2, and then they ended up with 13. It was a wild night for me. Trust me.
That is ridiculous how the fantasy point thing goes
Bro.
for defenses. It's fucking weird.
for Jameis Winston having 3 picks, he still had a pretty off stat wise.
Hold on. Hey, that's a game for Jameis Winston. That's
I'm not. Listen again.
Okay.
Jameis Winston was doing Jameis Winston things. But statistically, when you look at the
you
stats,
give me those stats, there's
like,
only 2 quarterbacks that come to mind.
that's the thing. Like the fact that he
Brett
almost
Favre
in a
and Jameis
losing
Winston.
process,
Oh, no.
he almost threw for
Cousins,
500
Jameis
yards. He was 4 yards away from 500 yards in a losing effort. Again, Jameis still did Jameis shit towards the end because motherfucker.
Last 500 yards in season passer. Does anybody know this off the top of their head?
Say that again.
The last person to throw for 500 yards in the NFL.
Probably Drew
I'm going to
Brees.
say either Tom Brady.
I'm going to say
No,
Drew
I'm going to
Brees.
say you're going to say Drew Brees. I'm going to say Dan Marino.
Jesus Christ.
I've never heard of
in,
this.
in season, that's what kills me. Because I know for a fact that Tom Brady did it against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. But in season,
it was this year, and it's the other quarterback we were talking about.
Bo
Kirk
Nix?
Cousins had a 500-yard game this year.
yeah.
Shit.
Week 5
That's right.
versus the Falcons. He had 554. Okay, no, he didn't have 554. Norm Van Brocklin of the Rams had 554.
How long ago was that?
1954.
Wow, there's really not that many of them.
Who was the closest to get to 5?
It was Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
Next to him.
technically. 496. That's insane.
So
But
there's
them two pick sixes, man.
The postseason. Lord, please deliver me from
Do
this.
not be up. Like, you can't ever be upset at Jameis Winston.
I
Like,
know. I love that guy.
Want to know
dude.
what's
I
really
love that
impressive
guy.
is that the guy, Y.A. Tittle, October 28th, 1962, the dude had 500 yards passing. That's pretty fucking impressive for 1962.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Paul had to be
Considering it was a
different.
running league back, like a straight up running league back then.
Yeah, Cousins did it
That's
versus
Jim
the Bucs.
Brown. Who else? Walter Payton.
Yeah, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, Derek Carr threw for 500 yards.
I think that was definitely with the early Raiders
don't
days,
count.
The
before-
Raiders
when they were
versus
still
the
in Oakland.
Buccaneers. Dude, the Buccaneers are on here 6 fucking times for getting the ball thrown for over 500.
Getting dissected by some
Matthew
offenses.
Stafford for the Lions in a losing effort versus the Packers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember
that game. Yeah, Joe Burrow's on here a couple times. 1 versus the Ravens.
Okay, so coming in at number 1 so far at 9-1 is Mike. Second place, we've got Chuck at 8-2. Third place, we've got Patrick at 7-3. That's 7-3.
Why the fuck couldn't the fantasy rankings work out like this? This is bullshit. I'm already eliminated from the playoffs and everything.
And then
Dude,
which one?
Paul,
Playoffs are getting heated this week, eh? Paul,
Me and
6-4.
Jonathan got a very tough game this
you
week.
got a win or go home, right?
Yeah, me and
Me
Jonathan.
neither.
Whoever wins is in, and whoever loses is out for the last spot in the playoffs. That's fucking crazy. I did not think this was gonna the way the season was gonna end. If 4
How
weeks
close
ago,
is your game? What's the matchup?
Let me pull it up. I thought 4 weeks ago I was done.
You're on a little win streak here, aren't you?
I'm
Yeah,
trying not
he
to
went
think
on his
about
win
it.
streak and I dropped 4 games. Fucking
I'm
just
on
got
I think I'm on a
demolished.
4-game win streak right now.
Lost it. My skid
I'm on a 3-game
started-
win streak.
My skid started when I lost to
Um,
Chucky by 0.96 points.
Right now, the
I don't
projection
skip too, bro.
is one. He has 112 to my 109, but I also don't have a defense. I'm waiting for the waiver wires to clear so I can pick up my defense. But it's gonna be a tight game, I feel, and it's gonna stress me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then the thing that sucks is whoever wins basically is playing one of you fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 2 weeks. Each one's 2 weeks, so it
Doesn't
doesn't really
matter. It's still one of you fuckers.
What does that matter?
I've been
This
playing like
motherfucker
crap.
over here, this motherfucker right here is a sneaky little bastard. And then you over there
Kick the shit out of people.
just
I didn't beat
randomly
the shit,
just
I beat the
beating
shit out of
people.
one person, and it was this past week, the whole season. So I don't know what you're
Dude,
talking
bro,
about.
you beat the. Hold on.
I had
You beat-
Well, I was gonna
7.
say,
If I
think
remember
I
correctly,
think-
this guy right here, I gave
Yeah.
him a bye week.
Points 1 week.
Yeah.
He had a bye week off of me. My
Nah,
game,
well.
our week didn't matter.
I should have had 2, and then the Packers went off, and I lost that week too. Fuck.
Because how bad did you beat me? You beat me 169 to 106. Like,
I haven't
there's
played
no
well
way
since.
there's no way that I
haven't
should
played
be.
well since.
There's no way that I should be in contention for the playoffs.
Bro,
Thank you.
There's
you beat
no
me-
way.
Pat, you beat me 143 to 107.
Yeah.
You beat the shit
And
out of me.
last
get lucky
week,
every
did you
now
see
and
my
then.
score last week?
I don't know what
Yes,
just
but-
100.64 to 99.2.
Hell yeah.
me and
There's no way that I should even be sniffing a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, it happens.
It is what it is. That's what's great about fantasy. You just cannot predict the shit at all.
I'd be lying if I said that I'm not nervous going into this weekend.
That's just fantasy. You'll be all right.
I've been in the playoffs for the last 3 weeks.
Nobody fucking asked you.
I haven't even. I'm going to tell you right now. I set my lineups 4 weeks ago, and once I made it into the playoffs, I haven't looked. I check once or twice during fantasy to see.
I don't have that luxury right now.
Yeah, I've had no. I
Now,
haven't
in
hit
my
the waiver
Yahoo
wire or
fantasy, I'm 10-2 in that bitch, and the amount of people that are talking shit to me is great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great, isn't it? Every time I talk, everyone in the chat's like, "Fuck you, champ."
Well, it's because you're
Well,
fucking
hey,
petty
when the
as
playoffs
shit.
start, you don't have to hear that anymore.
Yeah.
Once the playoffs start, it's game time.
I'm happy. I'm happy I made the playoffs, but my
Are
team's
you nervous a little bit?
performance- It's not that I'm nervous. Arguably, there's not a fucking thing I can do. I just set the lineup. I've
Got to line it up and make sure that it plays the way it's played.
The waiver wire is gone. There's nothing. It is what it is. And even if the waiver wire wasn't gone, who are you picking up?
Not a lot. There's not a lot out
It's
there.
pretty empty out there right now.
Very
So-
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
scraps.
So regardless of all of that, yes, I set the lineup, and I do hope for a victory.
Actually, you know what?
but
It's
I
probably
haven't-
good that
I haven't
the,
tried to
the
do anything
Baltimore
ridiculous.
Ravens lost to the Eagles because the Baltimore fell in the playoff position.
gotta play 'em.
because
They
of
gotta
that.
play
So
their
now they
teams.
have to try
Here-
a lot harder. So.
Here's the other
for
thing
you.
too. Do you know who my quarterback and running back play against in my Week 1 playoff matchup?
The Giants.
The New York fucking Giants.
And
Yeah,
like
I am.
listen, I said it 2 weeks ago. I said it a few days ago. I blame the Eagles because I feel bad for the Giants because the Ravens are about to just destroy the shit out of them, and I blame the Eagles.
I mean, and they even said it in the press conference. Lamar's
Go.
as the bye week needs to hurry up. We got the Giants coming up, and I'm telling
They
you.
are about to get mollywopped. They are about to get ran through a fucking process.
So
And there's
Yeah.
nothing they can do about it.
Not a
They just
damn
lost-
thing. They're not.
They
not
just
stopping
lost
Derrick
Dexter
Henry.
Lawrence for the year. He's gone.
Even
Kayvon
if they had
Thibodeau
Dexter
has no
Lawrence,
help.
this is the thing.
Like-
Even if they had that, even if they had
Tanking,
Dexter
for
Lawrence,
fuck's sake. So who
Saquon,
knows?
Saquon Barkley destroyed them like a rag doll. And this is the thing. And I'm not saying Henry is better than Barkley, but he's
'Cause
bigger,
he's not.
right? But I'm just saying, if you can't stop Barkley, there's no way on this planet you're stopping Derrick Henry.
yeah, no, indubitably. So I
I'm saying,
I looked
As
at a
old as
couple.
he is,
Yeah.
he's still running over you. If it's 1-on-1, you're gonna go to sleep.
So I looked at that a couple weeks ago, and I figured I was going to have a decent round 1 matchup, regardless
Yeah.
of who I play.
And it's Lamar
Regardless of who I
Jackson.
played.
Lamar Jackson is pissed.
It's Lamar and Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is pissed. He's
Yeah,
about
I
to
mean-
make that Giants look like fucking high school.
So
I'm expecting 50 or more from those two, which will be nice. So that'll be a good bump. into
Separately
the
or
Easy.
combined?
combined.
No, separately.
I'm like, I don't know. Lamar
It's
is on
not-
a mission.
It's not out of against the Giants defense. It's not out of the realm of a possibility that we see Lamar throw for 4 touchdowns and Derrick Henry rush for 3.
That
It's
man,
not ability.
his mama.
Oh,
cussed
yeah,
him
I know.
out.
I'm
His
just- I'm
mama
not-
cussed
I
him
know.
out. He's like, I ain't gonna have my mama cuss me out 2 weeks in a row.
It's a good
I could have
thing
been
his mama
running.
waited-
Well, he
it's a good
should have
thing his
ran on
mama
a couple
waited
of those
till
plays.
After the game, because our defensive line was eating that ass up, and Look,
I'm just saying. I feel bad for the Giants and that organization next.
That
in 2
final
weeks.
drive, especially that fourth down play, Lamar had 60 yards in front of him. He should have.
that's because the whole fucking Eagles shell was at the end zone trying to make sure that there was no big plays. And we're like, okay, there's 3 seconds left. Score a touchdown. Who gives a shit? We've
No,
shut
I'm
down
saying
Derrick Henry.
the fourth down play that essentially ended it. I'm not talking about the garbage time shit. There was
You're talking about that one where we almost picked it off.
yeah, from Zay
Yeah,
Flowers there.
okay.
Yeah, he had 60 yards. Fucking, it was all he had to do was put his head down. But he was trying to let his players make a play. That's what his mom was yelling at him
The
about.
New York Giants, the
Significant.
Rays, and the Jaguars are the only 3 teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah,
The fact that
Yeah.
the Panthers still have technically a
Oh no,
legitimate
I
shot.
take that back. And the Patriots.
Are the Panthers still?
The Pats were eliminated
The
before
Panthers
the
are
Panthers.
still they're
for
3 and 9.
the division, right?
They're 3 and 9 because they're only 3 games back. With
Oh
5 to play.
God,
That's
Jesus.
wild to say out loud.
3 and
And
9, and
it's-
you still have a
it's the
chance.
NFC South.
You know what?
And then we said they weren't going to win a game. They've won 3 games. Respectfully,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they should have won last
Oh.
game if they wouldn't have pissed it away. But
yeah.
they would've
You
been
want to
4-8.
talk about getting eaten up? Do you know who the Panthers play next week?
The Eagles.
Yeah, Saquon about to have 300 yards rushing.
Talking about picks, we're gonna
Yeah.
start it off.
I'm gonna give it to Mike because second place is gonna give first, third's gonna give fourth, and then we'll figure it out from there.
I just go
Fourth
here.
will give to second. Regardless, Packers Lions coming up on Thursday. Mike, I'm giving you the Packers Lions game coming up on Thursday.
Okay,
Tough
let's
one.
see.
And they're
So
playing in-
got
Pick 'em.
the Packers Lions pulled up on my second. All right,
3.5
so I've got
favorite?
minus 3.5
And they're-
over unders 51.5. Look,
The Lions are at home, so you get
This is
3 for
one
being
of
at
those-
home.
yeah, it's a pick 'em game. So I am
hope
not
they blow
as
out the
low
score.
on Green Bay as some. I'm not as low on Green Bay as some people are. I think Josh Jacobs is the number 3 running back in the league for a fucking reason because he's a monster.
Bless you.
I think Jordan Love is doing his best to play mistake-free football. He's cleaning up his
2
problems.
successful games now.
And even
Yeah.
when Jordan Love is hurt, Malik Willis comes in and plays pretty impressively for you guys. Your defense, you have the best ball hawking safety in the league in Xavier McKinney. So
And
shit.
The
for me,
Lions pass defense has gotten better. I should tell you they are now ranked 28th in the league. So I don't know if they've gotten
Fun
better
fact
or if
from
other
Tar.
teams or if other teams have gotten worse. But they are 28th now,
Yeah.
not 30th.
Ooh. Big move.
Hey, I
Okay.
just
So the
I just read
line-
that out there.
They're stepping on up.
the over under is 51.5.
Yeah.
Shit. So essentially a 25-26 game. You know what? Fuck it. Because I'm an Eagles fan and I want the number 1 seed. I'm going to say Green Bay. Green Bay takes down Detroit 30-29.
Ooh, you keeping
game,
it
it's a game.
spicy.
all right.
Spicy meatballs.
All right. Now, Paul, you're chasing Patrick at this point. You're 6-4 and he's 7-3. So you're picking for Patrick.
Mr. Patrick, that guy. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you something real spicy. Spicy meatball.
And then, Mike, you're going to be picking for me.
I'm gonna give you a
And-
division game.
Patrick will be picking for
Yeah.
PR. That's how we're going to do this.
I'm gonna give you a division game. That there's a lot on the line. I'm gonna give you the Seahawks and Cardinals.
That's probably this is probably the closest game the entire week. It's probably the one that matters the most of all the head-to-head games. To be honest with you, you get
The
Well,
division,
it's for
basically.
NFC wild card
dominance.
also.
Yeah, for the wild card or for the
'Cause
division.
Those are 2 teams that would be chasing Green Bay. Green
one of
Bay's
them,
poised to pop a playoff here in the next 2 to 3
if
weeks.
Seattle wins, they would solidify the division lead by
Yes.
2 games.
Because they have a 1-game lead right now on the Cardinals.
And they'd have a 2-game lead with a win, and the Cardinals would be 6-7, so Green Bay would be 3 games up in the wild card on them, along with Minnesota. I've lost faith in Arizona. They haven't been playing as well lately. I think this might be Murray's just eventually at some point they're worn down defensively. They're having to really put the pressure on. Geno Smith at one point was leading the NFL in passing yards. I don't believe he's anywhere near the top 5 anymore. 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. This game is a 2.5-point spread for the Arizona Cardinals at home with a 44.5 spread. I like Seattle to come out of this game winning 27-17.
All right. Now we'll double back. Mike, you pick for me.
All right.
And Patrick,
let's
you'll be
see.
picking for Paul.
Ooh, let's do this. I'm going to give you the Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hell yeah. I like that one.
It's a Sunday night game, too. Prime time, prime time, prime time.
I think it's
Sorry,
going to
come
be
again?
closer.
It's definitely going to be closer than people think.
I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people are thinking.
Without a doubt.
The last time they played, I believe it was 17-10, 17-14.
I can pull that up. Hold on.
Spreads 3.5.
17-10, yeah. Last time they played.
17-10, thank you. 3.5. The Chiefs really didn't play well that game defensively. The Chargers had it bottled up. Chargers still up there
In the defense as well.
Let's see. Chargers defensive ranks. Total defense 12th, passing 9th, rushing 15th, scoring defense still first-ish, 15.9. Okay. What was the over-under on that again, Mr. AI? Sorry about that. 44.5. With a 3.5-point spread, so you're basically looking 23-20, 23-21. What you're thinking ish in this game. Kansas City's got Pacheco coming back. Or
He came back last
He came
week.
back last week. I don't believe he had a bunch
He
of
didn't have a
failures.
stellar game.
But
last week.
they're weaning him back in, and
Yeah.
eventually he's going to take over all the.
I say
number
within the
one
next
carries.
week or two.
Yeah, I took him off the IR, so
Yeah, Kansas City has missed their play action. I can tell you that, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Well, Vegas
Don't know.
definitely has Kansas City by
At
a lot.
160, yeah, and I believe that the play action created with the angry, healthy running of the Pacheco. It's going to be a huge difference.
they're
in
not
this
going to
game.
get completely rid of Kareem Hunt. But with Pacheco, the passing threat is definitely there. Kareem Hunt is he's more of a bruiser back. Pacheco is more of a finesse guy who evades tackles, has good footwork.
It's gonna be a fun game to watch, so I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to. I don't expect anything different from the Chiefs' defense either. So I'm going to go. 28-13, Kansas City. Yeah.
Wow.
Pacheco makes Kansas City a different team.
It does. It does.
Completely.
Say what, and I'm not discrediting Kareem Hunt in any
I
way.
think KC is sick of people whispering too that they're not a good football team. You know
Well,
what I-
yes, I do know what you mean, but and again, I indubitably know what you mean because a win's a win. Like there really isn't an ugly win, right? There's more ugly losses.
Right.
We can point out a handful of those, but you don't get a whole bunch of ugly wins. Arguably, when the clock is over and a win's a win, right? And nobody's describing the Lions' win against the Bears as an ugly win.
Oh, that was definitely an ugly win.
I'm just, you see what
But
so
that
the
W
fact
still
that,
holds a W.
but the fact that Kansas City is fucking 11-1, I don't care how you got there, you're 11-1.
Right.
And
At the end of the day, you're at the top of the conference, and can't
Yeah.
nobody say shit.
and offensively, they're getting healthier as things go on.
Yeah.
I like what Pacheco in the run game is going to open up for Xavier Worthy. And also, Pacheco in the passing game, I believe, is much better than Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
And I
much
remember
better.
this last year because Pacheco was on my fantasy championship team, and he was a major force towards the end of the season, averaged well over 20 points.
But
So
having
in
Kareem
order-
Hunt as a backup to Pacheco moving forward, that benefits Kansas City in the playoffs big time.
Just real quick, has anybody? What is Kareem Hunt? I'm sorry. What has Hunt done?
162 carries, 592 for 5 touchdowns.
So
Who's
a little
had a-
over
And
four.
And he's only been
a
there,
little-
what, like 5 or 6 weeks?
3.6 yards a carry, something like that.
I'm not saying that he's a monster, but,
But for a
he's,
guy
a
who's
reli-
gonna
he's a
start on-
reliable back.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a
I love
reliable
that.
back to get
Yeah.
2-3 yards, 4 yards, and every now and then get.
He'll grab you
Give
the first
Pacheco
down.
a yard.
breather. Yeah. Yeah. I don't expect much from Mr. Hunt
No,
moving
no.
forward, though, especially with Pacheco being healthy.
No.
Dude's a
Yeah.
dog.
They're
To
gonna
have
need
him
for
in
the
your
push.
back pocket, though, for Kansas City,
Indubitably. Yes.
it
Yeah.
definitely benefits.
Well, it
them.
allows you to keep maybe Pacheco's at 80% instead of 100 again because of Kareem Hunt. You don't have to put
Sure.
that much weight on him.
No, they're gonna
Exactly.
wean him back for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, no, but anywho. The other reason I'm digging into this is because if Kareem Hunt was so great, one of the best play action passers in football wouldn't be missing a running back that's coming back this week.
Right.
Like offensively, their play action passes have been terrible. So if Kareem Hunt is really that guy,
Well, I hear you.
the play action would have been
100%.
better.
100%.
So that was the only reason why I dug into that. But it's the reason I think Kansas City is going to start scoring more points, though. You're going to see a lot more of those wide open Xavier
And that's
Worthy
definitely going to
sprint
have.
runs.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the play action with Pacheco back in there, that's going to leave it open for Worthy to get probably deep
Right.
balls.
And we're also, because let's not forget about the dude where you just throw it close. They've got Hopkins there now, too.
And then they got 3 tight ends that, even though
Yes.
Kelsey has been invisible, he's still got hands.
Still Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, he's still pulling double coverage.
Right. And that's,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that helps everybody else out.
So you're going to see a lot more Texas, a lot more wheel routes to Pacheco, because Pacheco's got hands, too, man. The dude's a good
Yeah.
wide receiver. The dude's a good running back.
Go Puerto Rico. Sorry, I
So-
just had to put that in there.
Don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry about that. There's more of us anyways.
I got to throw my plug every now and then.
Yeah, don't
Fuck
ever be
it.
sorry about that. All right, here we go.
I think what we're
Patrick's
not
picking for-
talking about though is the Chargers defense is looking stout. Harbaugh
is,
has
but when
that
they play a
defense
good team, they're-
playing-
Yeah, but when they play a better defense, they don't score points, and that's Kansas City's
Yeah,
going to
there's
score
that.
points. Whether it's 28 or 19, I don't think the Chargers are scoring more than 13.
There's
Maybe it's any given Sunday. I
Yeah, the
can sit
Chargers
here
are
and-
having a fantastic season for
I
what
wear
they
wa-
have.
Yeah, I wear water shoes in the lake because I don't want to chop my foot off if I step on something.
Let's be
So I
honest, the
get it.
Chargers are
Things
going to
can
be
happen,
a
but-
surprise playoff team probably in the AFC.
Do they win a playoff
Yeah.
game, or you think they're one and done?
I think they're one and done, but I think they do make the playoffs.
They have the potential. I think they have a. I think they have a better Houston potential.
Yeah. Nothing
Houston
can
was
be
a nice
worse than that
story.
It
fucking-
depends on who they match up with.
Nothing
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
worse than that goddamn Jacksonville game from a couple of years ago. Holy
Because-
shit.
Because I tell you what, if the Chargers end up going to Baltimore, that might be. Or actually, if Baltimore ends up coming to LA, no, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be that. But still,
I don't. Yeah, the Chargers couldn't beat Baltimore in Baltimore. They don't have the bodies to beat up Baltimore. You have
We
to.
watched.
beat
We already
Baltimore.
watched them play Baltimore.
Yeah,
they struggled.
that's a different Baltimore. This is the thing. Philly just lost our tight end, probably for the year. We lost Reed Blankenship for a couple of weeks due to a concussion. Baltimore is one of those teams that you are going to get the shit beat out of you, win or lose. It doesn't matter.
that's why
that-
I'm glad we've had a full 7 against the Lions. Packers Lions games are the same way. You feel
Yeah,
like
this game for you guys is gonna be smash mouth, punch you in the face, run at each other's throats type of football. And it's going to be fucking fun.
Oh, wow. They were very kind to us. We play the Lions on Thursday night, and then we don't play again until Sunday night in Seattle. So
Yeah,
I think that's,
you get the 10 days.
They were very kind to us.
It's not really very kind. They had to play 3 games in 11 days. That's not that kind.
I'm saying after that stretch.
They would have had to. At some point, they had to give Green Bay kind of a break.
That mini bye is going to do you guys really good. That 10 days will help a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
because you got
Charles.
essentially 3 days to not plan, not do anything.
Yep, straight rest days. And we travel from Detroit, so it's like an hour and a half flight. And that's because it takes you 40 minutes to get there and get on the plane.
Exactly.
All right, Patrick, you're picking for Paul.
All right, Paul. Unfortunately, not a division game for a head-to-head division game anyway. But the only other game that's not a complete either stinker or, let's just say it, not interesting. This game is very interesting. I'll give you Kirky Cousins versus his old team and the old gunslinger himself, Minnesota.
So you got ATL
Sam
versus Mid.
Bradford.
This threw good competition into it because now we're picking for the chasers, and the chasers are picking for those who are being chased. That's awesome. For those whom they are chasing. Sorry.
Yes.
Getting into the nitty gritty.
And the gritty. 14.
Peanut butter.
In Minnesota.
Jelly. Why is spicy? In my belly. Makes my poops kinda smelly.
Yeah, so we played the
You're really thinking about
Seahawks.
this way too fucking hard.
I'm like,
poop?
'cause this is the thing. Like, I don't trust Kurt, but Kurt can do Kurt things, good and bad.
I got to poop.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a plate of
Let
nachos
loose.
for the show.
But it's
That's
also
funny.
Sam Darnold. I don't trust Sam Darnold still.
And
But
then we
nobody
play
trusts
Monday
Sam
night
it's like
football
they
at home.
Nobody
wash
trusts
each other
Sam
out in
Darnold. They
bad
trust
and
his
good.
receivers.
We're having a hella break coming into the playoffs.
Yeah.
We play Detroit, and then we don't play until Sunday night Seattle, and then we don't play again until Monday night at home. That's fucking nice, bro. So we
You know what's real nice?
We played 3-11, but then played 2-20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
Ooh.
Yeah, of
Over
course.
45.5.
This bodes well for me. I'm playing Sam Darnold this week because my boy's on a bye.
I'm gonna put.
Who I'm not drafting next year, by the way.
You're not doing it again. Not 3
No.
times.
No, I'm not drafting Lamar Jackson ever again.
I'm picking Minnesota. I'm gonna say.
I could have had Josh Allen. Just putting this out there.
Oh, what a kick in the nuts.
Because I picked my
That's
quarterback
right. I
early.
could have had
think
Saquon Barkley, but some fucker stole him from me.
You sound
Well, see,
a-
you
that
had
sound like a
nothing to do
personal
with
problem.
that. I picked the first quarterback off the board.
Charles
I
did.
chose.
Yeah,
I
and it
chose.
was
I looked
Lamar.
at all of them.
Chose to handcuff himself with Lamar and with Derrick Henry and ride that train. And unfortunately, it was working out very well for
Well,
him.
listen, it got me to the playoffs, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
All right,
But
I got
the
it.
first week, you definitely know
they don't they don't perform well in the playoffs. So let's see if they can fantasy wise.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I'm gonna
the good
give,
news about this. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give Minnesota 24, and I'm gonna give the Vikings 13.
Wait.
Wait, what?
He meant
Falcons?
Atlanta. He meant Atlanta.
Minnesota. Sorry, Atlanta. 13,
Cousins.
Minnesota 24.
Scorekeeper's got you, bro. Don't worry about it.
I feel like I did something stupid, but it's not the first time.
You didn't.
No, I'm talking about picking Minnesota.
Why?
I
Dude,
don't
Atlanta's
think you
been in
are
a
in this game.
downspin, dude.
I know,
No.
but it's also Kirk.
Kirky just threw what? 57 interceptions last game?
Oh no, actually, I believe it was 58.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking close.
You were saying you brought something
Does
up
this look
about
like
the
my good
Packers.
side?
It looks like us side.
Does
It
make
looks
my
like a
nose look
side.
big?
No, but it makes you with your hat back like that. It makes you look like a white dude that's posing for his mixtape.
Yeah. I was just singing a portion of it. It's labeled peanut butter jelly
Hey,
in my
bro.
belly.
Goddamn Teddy Swims, bro. That's me and Paul's shit.
Makes my poops smelly.
You're funny. You were saying something about Green Bay having Thursday, then Sunday, then not till Monday night. The coolest shit about the Eagles' remaining schedule is 4 out of the next 5 games are home, and our only away game is down in Washington. We don't have to get on a plane for the rest of the season.
Yeah. We traveled
All the rest
further than you to Brazil.
Yeah, you did. Because you guys had to go all the way around your ass to get to your elbow and then go to Brazil.
Fuck stupid. Oh man.
You should have just honestly, it would have been quicker if y'all drove to Philly and then just rode the same fucking plane as us. It would have been fucking it would have cost the team less.
We need Orlando to start. We need Orlando to start scoring some fucking points here.
My dogs are loud.
Dude, that's Pepper.
No, that was Kovu.
3
of them.
Tofu. All right, quick recap. Chuck was given the Chargers versus Kansas City. He's got Kansas City winning 28-13. Pat was given Seahawks versus Cardinals.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And he has them 27-17. Paul was given Atlanta, ATL versus Minnesota. The return for Kirky Cousins. And he has Minnesota winning 24-13.
Yes.
And then, of course, Mike, Green Bay versus Detroit, 30-29. Score count recap. Mike's coming in at number 1, 9-1. Chuck's coming in at number 2, 8-2. Patrick's coming in number 3, 7-3. Paul's coming in at number 4, 6-4. Everyone's, oh, hey, Paul, you're not in bad position. You're in 4th place. There's only fucking 4 of us.
We're not doing a crossroads with other shows. This is it.
No, this is it. This is it. So while 4th place sounds great, it's in fact last place.
Like my Bears.
So, arguably, this is almost like the entire NFC North.
Yeah, pretty much.
9-1.
Fighting, scratching.
Except I'm doing better than them.
Yeah, you have a winning record.
Yeah.
And you do, and this is we're coming into the playoffs. We got a 5-game stretch. I think this is our best opportunity for comebacks and stretch aheads.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time where you start to upset people and change the seating. This is where it matters.
I guess the only real football was so spread out this week. The Black Friday game wasn't too terrible. I think probably one of my favorite plays from the week would have to be that pick 6 by Denver. When the dude jumped up in the air, caught the ball behind him, fell to his back, and then got up and ran it into the end zone. That was it.
That and
Elijah
Allen
Moore
throwing a pass to him.
This is the thing. Elijah
That
Moore
was
should
insane.
get his ass beat for not touching that man.
I know.
He needs to get his ass beat.
Yeah, I would have to guess the Cooper Dejean tackle was probably the big one for you, the one that stands out in your mind, Mike.
That play was fantastic, but it's not my favorite play. My favorite play from this past week is who is that big ass defensive lineman?
Leonard Williams?
Yes,
That
Leonard
picked off
Williams.
Aaron
Pick
Rodgers.
six.
He's
That's
a
my
jet, by the
favorite
way. Yeah, took a 90+ yards, big man balling for sure.
Yeah, well,
I love
Aaron-
that.
Batman
Aaron,
touchdowns are always great.
And
I
especially
love
on your
it.
former
has to be
team.
benched this week, right? You can't let Aaron Rodgers go out there and keep playing.
Nah, you gotta let him keep playing. It's all about that draft pick,
Dude,
baby.
I saw a stat.
Well, for
I
us.
thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson hasn't played a fucking game since he's gotten traded, right?
No.
And he still has more wins as the Jets than Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah,
Where did fucking? I don't even remember where Zach Wilson went.
He's in
Denver.
as a
Denver.
backup to the backup.
Yeah, Robert. We discussed this yesterday on the cast too. Robert Saleh, after becoming a consultant with the Packers and losing to the Jets, or being fired by the Jets, is 5-1, while the Jets are 1-5.
Just a shit show.
After bringing in a multi-million-dollar All-Pro wide receiver that hasn't done a fucking thing for them in 6 games.
Like, if it wasn't for the Jets, the Giants would be the most embarrassing thing out of New Jersey.
It's so funny because what's happening to Devontae Adams in New York is what people thought was going to happen to A.J. Brown when he got traded to Philly.
There's no way people thought that.
Oh, bro.
There's
when
no
AJ
way people
Brown,
thought that.
When A.J. Brown got traded to Philly, this is exactly what they said. He will never have a 1,000-yard receiving season again because Jalen Hurts
no
is the
way
running
somebody really said that out loud and believed it.
Oh,
like, there's
absolutely.
no way. That's the most idiotic take I ever heard in my life. But then again, Nick Wright's still on TV, so I'm not surprised.
No, dude, I'm telling
Yeah, I'm
you,
good
this
on
is
that
from.
guy.
It was from everybody when AJ got traded. Obviously, Eagles fans were excited, but they were, Jalen's a running quarterback. AJ's never going to see the ball. How is he going to feel when he has 2 touchdowns this year?
That's the most dumbest take I ever.
And then we end up going to the Super Bowl.
That sounds like a Colin Hurd take.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick, what was your? Did we get a favorite moment from you?
Oh yeah, I told you it was Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yes.
Yeah.
First quarterback to get a receiving, rushing, and throwing touchdown in a game.
Yeah.
Like, how wild is that?
And then
My favorite moment?
yeah.
Yeah, the Friday after the Thanksgiving game when I got the text message saying that Eberflus got fired.
That's the best moment, huh?
That's the best moment for me. Christmas came early.
Hey, man. It's the small mercies, bro.
Listen, small
mercies.
victories.
Right.
Small victories.
Small victories. All righty. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Hey,
Yeah,
I
go
did
ahead,
want to
Pierre.
ask you guys when are we going to do this 40-man roster thing that you guys set up a couple weeks ago?
What do we got? We got the. I suppose we can do it next week.
Yeah. I'm excited because it's a dope concept and I want to see how you guys' minds work and how you build a team.
I started mine and then I got it halfway done and then I was like, we're not doing it for a couple weeks. I was like, I put it off to the side.
I've got my 5. I just whenever
I got 3 out of my 5 and then I've got this list like Paul probably has of like honorable mentions that I need to pick from to mix into my 5 and I'm pretty sure that's what Paul's probably has too.
I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
What?
Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
In his face.
All the Diddy.
You are the one who told me about his new Netflix special coming out.
Yes, he has a Netflix.
We ain't gonna.
Is it called Darkness?
It's called Enigma.
Well, it's
Edward
Darkness.
And he's
Edward
narrating.
Nigma.
He's narrating
Enigma.
it. You have to listen to his voice,
God.
even.
What a
I'm not
pretentious
watching
word.
that.
What a pretentious prick.
I want to. The 2 things I would like to mention. I'm thinking about doing Audible.com and like reading books. I think that'd be cool. Do you look at eyebrows often?
Only when they're missing, like mine.
Yeah.
I notice when they're missing, but like when you're looking at somebody when they're talking or just random, have you ever looked at their eyebrows?
No, I just look at their forehead and
No.
all the wrinkles.
Not unless they got big old caterpillars on their fucking face.
Yeah.
Oh, when they have those big old logs. Of
Yeah.
hair.
Bushies, yeah.
I've never really looked. Yeah, I only noticed the weird. I'm looking. I was looking at my eyebrows. I'm like,
If you see
Jesus,
this, what's it?
I got small eyebrows.
Yeah,
So
yeah, little guys.
I got what is it? Fuck. Psoriasis, right? Because
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
90% of the time, and my eyebrows started to disappear. I went to the mirror. It was like about 2 months ago. I noticed it. I was like, babe, one of my fucking eyebrows is going away. But I'm on medication now, and it's slowly coming back.
I just get the old man like eyebrow
Yours
hairs
goes
that
down
just
there.
randomly
Oh.
hang
My
off.
child, hers are like already curved naturally. I'm like, yeah, where did your eyebrows go? How did your eyebrows just wake up? Just
How did
naturally
just
perfect.
fucking eyebrows? Here we are. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and hanging out. We greatly appreciate you. We greatly appreciate your time, your comments, who you are as a person. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. All of us, we did very well. Christmas is coming up. Be neighborly. And just keep this going throughout the year. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean you have to be... Just because it's not Christmas doesn't mean you got it figured out. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, cheese and rice. You don't got to be mad about it. You know, it is what it is. Other people can sing Christmas music too, Mariah. You'll be okay. For the rest of us out here, just thank you for being you. We appreciate it, and we love you more.
Beach in my fly, what I hear deep in the eye. When you ride, she love packing the child. Cause the mind, all rest of the blind. Yeah, go now, betting your line. In school, I see the bag. The beach that bring your eye. At a boy with a light skin in the style.